Tiger Cats welcoming the Lions to town, and it is not just the game that is the attraction in Hamilton tonight. The city and the team, they have been celebrating their hometown hero, NBA champion and MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The festivities kicked off with a rally where he received a key to the city. Hello, everyone, and welcome to CFL Football on TSN. Kate Burness alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Siegel as we get set for the Tiger Cats taking on the BC Lions. And look, this is a tremendous way to kick off the week. For the BC Lions, coming off a bye, they need a victory. For the Hamilton Tiger Cats, they are red hot. They have 6 straight wins, looking for their 7th straight in front of a sold-out crowd. Enoch.
Absolutely, and they're going to need to continue that streak, and I think they can do that tonight as well. What I love to see in this streak is obviously Bo Levi Mitchell and that explosive offense and all the other guys that are getting involved. But this defense is continuously improving, and I love that for them. The secondary is extremely veteran savvy, and you got Jamal Peters and Stavros Katsantonis out there with 3 interceptions each on top of the league with regards to interceptions, and they are continuing to improve. It's going to be interesting to see how they do tonight.
Now, it's clear to me after what we've seen in the last 2 months that this Hamilton offense's passing attack cannot be stopped without pressure. So this league, Milt, you know it, you've been around a long time, is predicated on the passing game. The rules lean towards offense. If they can't blitz and get Bo Levi Mitchell on the ground, the BC Lions will not win this game. They're just too, Hamilton is just too good on offense.
And speaking of offense, I'm predicting another explosive game. Both sides. We have 2 of the more better quarterbacks in the league. Great receiving cores. James Butler, we know what he's expected to do coming back home. So this is going to be another big game. You know, it's going to be a difficult task for Hamilton. We've been talking about it coming off the short week when BC's coming off a bye week. But regardless, this will be another explosive game. As they say, get your popcorn ready, and it's going to be a fun match.
You said it was going to be 70 points last game. What do you got as total points going in this game
The great Miltradamus is saying, I'm going to say 67 points.
Hey, he also said his game's going to be more or better, so I wouldn't listen to nothing he's talking about.
Excuse my grammar.
Absolutely perfect night for football.
Mo better.
The fans are ready. We are ready. Let us get you to field level now for the Canadian National Anthem.
From the RCMP, please welcome Augustine Chung and Craig Lickers. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you are able and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem, performed by Kalia Stapleton.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see the rise, our true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Sold-out crowd in Hamilton tonight, ready for their Tiger Cats to kick off against the BC Lions. Rod Smith and Dwayne Ford with the call right after this. Eric Hager of Vancouver, BC. This is your chance to win big thanks to Save On Foods' $1 million touchdown to win. If a kickoff is returned for a touchdown, you could win groceries for a year. If 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns, you could also win $1 million. Good luck, Eric. Let's get you upstairs to Rod Smith and Dwayne Ford.
All right, thank you, Kate. Welcome to Hamilton for part 2, Lions and Ticats. A couple of weeks after one of the most dramatic, entertaining games of the CFL season so far, when it was Hamilton 10 points down late, Dwayne, coming back and winning it.
Yeah, Bo Levi Mitchell and the Hamilton Tiger Cats seem to have become one of those teams that just finds ways to win, the sign of a good football team.
Mitchell, the leading passer in the Canadian Football League, and has a team that's been on fire. Nathan Rourke as well, but it's 6 straight wins for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, looking to make it 7, and starting now, Mark Leggio with the kickoff. The Lions won the toss. They get the ball, and bringing it out there is Seven McGee. Gets it up across the 40.
You heard much debate between Milt and Ches in the pregame about the season of Nathan Rourke to date. We'll let those two continue to fight it out while Nathan looks to do his thing on the field. Played his high school football nearby in Oakville, Ontario, so something of a home game for the BC Lions QB.
He was 20 for 27 for 289 yards, no touchdowns, no picks in that loss against the Ticats 2 weeks ago in Vancouver. Takes to James Butler, throwing right away for Justin McInnes, who goes up and brings it down. Destin Talbot was right there with him, but a big catch for a first down, BC in the Ticat zone.
Yeah, Tiger Cats manned up in coverage, and this is just a situation where Nathan Rourke is taking advantage of the size, as you can see, of Justin McInnes. Catches Talbot with his back turned. Puts it up high, where 6'6" Justin McInnes can go get it.
He had one of his best games last year when he led the CFL in receiving yards right here in Hamilton. A couple of touchdown passes from Vernon Adams back then. Well, here's a former Ticat, James Butler, who looked like a motivated man. 40 last time they played against the Ticats, his old team, and a couple of touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, terrific job running the football, and the offensive line is going to be key if they're going to do that again. The rookie Il Manning out of the University of Hawaii makes his second career start at right guard. 4 Americans starting on that offensive line. Keep an eye on Keon Hatcher, a guy who has been among the top receivers in the Canadian Football League this season. A healthy Keon Hatcher. It's been a big boon for the 2025 BC Lions.
The Lions took the initiative against Hamilton a couple of weeks ago, and as mentioned, they had a 10-point lead with 3 minutes to go in that game. And that's quickly down to the 35 for Keon Hatcher, third leading receiver in yardage in the Canadian Football League coming into this game.
Just a quick hitter there, but good coverage. Allows the Cats to bring Hatcher to the turf immediately. Jamal Peters supplying that.
So out comes Sean White, who was 4 for 4 in their last game against Hamilton a couple of weeks ago. 17 for 17 on the year. He has made 30 straight. That's after a season last year where his streak ended at 47, the second longest ever. Got another one going here now, trying to keep it going from the 41 of Hamilton for the opening score of this game. And just a couple of minutes in, Sean White again, 18 for 18 on the year, and a beautiful summer night here in Hamilton. Thursday Night Football on TSN. Today at Hamilton Stadium, the city honored one of its own, NBA superstar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He got the key to the city from the mayor, Andrea Horvath, and appreciating his Hamilton roots, the NBA MVP, a champion with OKC, and the finals MVP as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The pride of Hamilton, Ontario, pride of Canada, quite frankly. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander capping off a fantastic season.
First possession for the Ticats offense, Greg Bell, the ball carrier, and it is Patrice Rene coming in and making that tackle to set up a 2nd and long for Bo Levi Mitchell, the CFL's leading passer, and what a renaissance season he's been having so far.
Yeah, and we saw the signs of it in the back half of last year. Obviously, Bo just gaining momentum as he and Scott Milanovic seem to really get on the same page, and that relationship has continued to grow through the first part of this season. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats are reaping the rewards of that.
Are they ever? Mitchell, who was actually a finalist for MOB last year, off on a tear so far, but Josh Woods came in, getting the start at weak side linebacker among those pressuring Mitchell, who just had to get rid of it. And it'll be a 2-and-out there for the Ticats in their first possession.
Well, this is certainly one of the feelings. One of the things that the BC Lions felt they needed to do better. You'll see Patrice Rene, number 24, loops on the inside. As he makes a start at the nickel linebacker spot tonight, gets around to make the shoestring tackle on Bo Levi Mitchell there as he tries to shuttle the ball out to his running back.
Of note, the last time they played.
The Hamilton ball carrier was downward contact at the 33-yard line. It will be third down.
So a sack is rewarded to the Lions, something they did not have, by the way, in that last game of theirs against the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
And here you'll see Mitchell ruled down before he got rid of that football. You can see the right knee touching down.
Patrice Rene gets it, getting the start at the nickel linebacker spot. Seven McGee inside the 15 on that Constantino punt of 62 yards. Gets it up to the 20. So good kick, Constantino. And Nathan Rourke coming back on now 3-3 as a starter in his 6 games. And a look at the difference the last 4 games compared to the first 2 for BC.
Yeah, and you're seeing sort of that growth and development. Nathan Rourke injured after that second game, a little bit of time, couple games on the sidelines to have a look at things. And the numbers have been better since. Bear in mind, Nathan Rourke has played his entire career as a BC Lion, but coming into this season, got a new offensive coordinator. That being his head coach, Buck Pierce. So a new system to learn, and seems like he's settling in.
And Rourke, here's the whistle blow before they get the play off.
Good. Legal procedure. BC number 57. 5-yard penalty. It remains first.
That is the right tackle, Chris Schlugger, moving out to the tackle spot after the injury 4 games in to Dejon Allen.
Schlugger, a veteran guy who spent some time in Montreal before coming to BC, so some depth on that BC offensive line, but just twitched a little early on that one.
Pushes Rourke in the offense back 5 yards on a 1st and 15. Quickly gets rid of it to Stanley Berryhill. He's been one of the stories in that Lions offense in 2025. To take a look at that Hamilton defense they're facing.
And on the defensive line, a lot of turnover on D-line over the last 2 years for the Cats, but the fixture is certainly Casey Sales, the leader from his defensive tackle spot. Reggie Stubblefield gets better and better every game. Great free agent signing, kind of an under-the-radar one. The nickel linebacker spot as he was injured basically all of last year. Keep an eye on Deshaun Amos, another shrewd signing for the Ticats. Veteran comes down the highway from Toronto to solidify that field halfback play.
10-yard pickup, Berryhill. Pressure coming on Rourke, and he does get it away, and it's nearly picked off. Jonathan Moxey got a hand up as Rourke was wrapped when he tried to get rid of it. It's a 3rd and 5, and BC's punting unit will come on.
And Nathan Rourke under pressure here. A little stunt on the inside from the Tiger Cats. Julian Hauser looping inside to make a play on the quarterback with his legs wrapped up. Obviously, Rourke couldn't get much on the throw. Fortunate to avoid the INT there, Run.
And the leading punter in net average, Carl Meyer, is back to kick this one away. Standing around his 10 for Isaiah Wooden, one of the explosive returners in the Canadian Football League this season so far. Great punt, chases him back inside the 30. Wooden, after a 59-yard punt, a great return, it's still going. Oh, Isaiah Wooden, could he be doing it again? Another return touchdown for this Hamilton standout, his first punt return TD of the year, to go along with 2 and kickoff returns, and the Ticats, just like that, have the lead.
Special teams providing a quick spark in the form of Isaiah Wooden. Just gets north-south in a hurry on this one. Got a couple of great blocks early, but Looked like Patrice Rene was the first man downfield. He got kicked out. See the wheels of Isaiah Wooden. Who actually spent some time as a BC Lion last fall. Initially, the first CFL team to sign him. Lions unable to get him on the roster. He made his way to Hamilton. Is making an impact here in 2025.
And with the point after from Mark Leggio, that quick for the Hamilton Ticats. Isaiah Wooden, punt return touchdown. 7-3, Hamilton leads.
Isaiah Wooden has provided the biggest highlight of this game so far. He gets north-south in a hurry on this one. 59-yard punt from Carl Meyer. And this is one of the things to me in terms of punt coverage in the Canadian Football League is I think sometimes you want to give up a little bit of distance to get a little bit more hang time. As Wooden was able to beat a couple of unblocked players right away because he's getting upfield before they've had a chance to get down there and break down and settle.
So off to Seven McGee on the kickoff return for BC. Lions now trailing it by 4 after that sudden burst by that man there. Isaiah Wood started off with a bang, Dwayne, in Calgary with a kickoff return for a touchdown. Had another one of those, and now he has a first punt return team.
Yeah, impact player for a team that's been pretty good in the return game historically. Whether it's been Lawrence Woods or Frankie Williams or obviously Brandon Banks. You know, over about the last decade or so, Cats have typically had very good returners, as you see special teams coordinator Dennis McKnight.
Back to the Lions offense, to James Butler. He pushes and he gets up across the 30 at 115 yards rushing last game against Hamilton. Well, this is what I was talking about in the opener at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. Isaiah Wooden in his second year, but didn't play much in the CFL last year, takes that one in, and there would be more against Toronto.
Yeah, there certainly would. Isaiah Wooden was part of the $1 million giveaway.
The $1 million return.
Yes, sir.
Sensational returner, sorry, 40 on a team that's had a few of them. Pump fake, and then throws it underneath, and he does complete it. And that's Berryhill with the ball, and right near the first down mark. Not quite sure they got it. Very close, though, up around the 38. It is indeed enough for a first down.
Yeah, with that spot based on his forward progress. Watch for Berryhill just coming across the middle. Zone coverage, find that soft spot. Hole in coverage right in the middle of your screen. He's got just enough to move those sticks.
So Rourke trying to settle him down now early in this one in Hamilton Stadium. 2 weeks after they met before in a close one that went right down to the wire, back to the ground, back to Butler with a later surge there. He admitted to us before that game 2 weeks ago how fired up he was to take on a team that basically didn't have a use for him late in the season after he got hurt and Greg Bell came on.
Yeah, they were looking for a little different skill set in the backfield last season after James Butler had been the go-to guy in 2023. You know, good veteran, kind of sucked it up and filled whatever role he was asked to fill, but definitely demonstrating here in 2025 that he's still got something to offer.
Well, he was on a mission early in that game a couple of weeks ago. So the first half touchdown. Quickly, Rourke under pressure, trying to get away from it. He does. Nathan Rourke takes off. First down, he slides across midfield. The sticks do move for the BC Lions on the legs of Nathan Rourke that came in with 210 yards rushing this season.
Yeah, and we've talked about this a number of times this season, the ability of Nathan Rourke to make plays with his legs. James Butler does well to sort of hang on there, taking on the bull rush of Devin Barisic. But Rourke demonstrating some great escapability.
As we've seen him do, and there was a lot of heat on him right away by the Ticats defense. A 1st and 10. BC down 4. Past the midway point of the first quarter across midfield is Rourke. Empty backfield. Completes that 2. That's off to Butler out of the backfield. And another good pickup for a first down. BC that's down near the 35 of the Ticats.
Yeah, it looked like there might have been a little bit of confusion from the Ticats on this one as you see James Butler, the running back, lines up out wide at the top of your screen. Ray Wilborn, the linebacker, looked like he was going to track him out there in man coverage, but realized he couldn't get there before the ball was snapped, so he switches that one off with the corner, Jonathan Moxey.
And this time Butler starts right in behind Rourke, moves to his right, has the ball to left side, and works his way down inside the 30. And another good pickup for James Butler on that first down play. Down to about the 29. It'll set up a 2nd and short for BC.
And the running game is going to be important to the offensive success of the BC Lions. You know, in a Buck Pierce scheme, coming from Winnipeg, we're so used to Brady Oliveira sort of being the straw to stir the offensive drink for the Bombers. That same mentality Buck brings here to BC with James Butler carrying the load.
In his first year as a CFL head coach. And movement along the line. The flag's coming out as it's handed to Butler again, but procedure call coming up.
BC, number 64, 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
So Corey Woodruff gets called for that one, and a 2nd and 3 turns into a 2nd and 8 now.
Statistically can be such a drive killer. We'll see if the BC Lions can overcome this little bit of adversity.
Back at the 34, the Ticats. Still early in this game. Rourke has time underneath Javon Catoy. His first catch of the evening. He gets it inside to about the 27. And it'll be a 3rd and about a yard and a half coming up here.
The 5 yards on the penalty proves costly. Here's Sean White in the field goal unit. Trot back out.
He's 1 for 1. Mentioned he's got a 31 field goals made streak going back to last September. Mark Leggio's counterpart tonight hasn't had a field goal try yet. Has 33 straight going back to last year. They are the 2 perfect kickers in the CFL, and they're meeting tonight, and it's White with the business early. 2 for 2 in the field goal department. Back to Bo Levi Mitchell. And thanks to special teams, his team still has a 1-point lead. Bo Levi Mitchell keeps racking up the yardage, now 9th all-time in passing, 30 of 42 for 350 and 3 touchdown passes in Edmonton, Wayne.
Yeah, continuing the hot streak, and what particularly standing out is some clutch throws down the stretch from Bo in the last couple of games, pulling out a couple of fourth quarter victories.
Here we are late in the first quarter, under 3 minutes. This is just their 2nd possession. They went 2 and out on the previous one. And on the toss, the reverse here to Shamar Bridges. Trying to get the edge, but it is well covered there. Deontay Williams in for the Lions defense to limit Bridges to about a yard, maybe 2. Or Tim White, excuse me.
And love the misdirection happening here. You're going to see Tim White coming to the right, but the fake kind of is to Keandre Smith, who gets in that pitch option relationship with Bo Levi Mitchell, drawing some flow the other way from the defense. But White just unable to get around that corner.
So game 2, 2nd and long. Empty backfield, Mitchell. Over the middle. Oh, it's intended. And a flag comes out. He's looking for Kenny Lawler, who has been a bit quieter these last couple of weeks with the kind of coverage that he's been facing, but a flag does come out.
holding. Hamilton, number 64. That penalty is declined. Third down.
So another 2 and out for Mitchell and the Ticats. There's 4 plays on offense, and it's Calderwood Mans who made the move from guard to center this year, who gets called on that one, but it's declined on the incompletion. So Nick Constantino to punt it again, standing at his 27 for Seven McGee alone back there for the return at the BC 15. Good work by the Lions defense so far in this game. And way off to the right. McGee, not much space there after a 55-yard punt as he gets pushed out by Kyler Fisher. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, honored today in the city of Hamilton. Matthew Shinetti's going to have a chat with him coming up Thursday Night Football on TSN. Earlier today, well, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander not only got the key to the city, but he got the news that he's having a street named after him in Hamilton. That's all part of a ceremony where thousands were here to see it. Let's head down and say hello to Matthew Shinetti.
Well, you're saying hello to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Rod, as he just made his way to Tim Hortons Field. He will be celebrated at the end of the first quarter, and I asked Bo Levi Mitchell, who also knows something about winning an MVP and winning a championship, if Shea Gilgeous-Alexander gives that sense of being the man, and he goes, no doubt. And for a team that's looking for its 7th straight win, something that it hasn't done since 1972, but more importantly, a team also looking to represent Hamilton and win a championship for the first time since 1999. I asked Mitchell if just having SGA in the building tonight, what kind of vibe does that give the team? And he said, it gives us a huge kind of influence for a guy like that who's made his name on the world stage to know he's from Hamilton. Rod?
And Matthew all smiles. You can just tell how proud he is, too, to be from Hamilton and on the world stage, really putting this city on the map with everything he did with OKC this year especially. It's Keon Hatcher with the ball, and he gets it up across the BC 30, around the 35 from Nathan Rourke, and a first down for the Lions, trailing by 1.
Just a quick hitter there to move the sticks, buying themselves a little bit of room, working their way out of their own. And you'll see the zip Nathan Rourke puts on this ball, just getting it in front of the linebacker. Ray Wilborn there.
See the difference in offensive plays early in this game. BC down a point, but doing a lot more on offense right now. Rourke, that one is knocked away. Coming up is Owen Hubert. Put some heat on the Ticats up front. Hubert in his second year making that play.
Yeah, Hubert, one of a number of players who came over from Winnipeg in free agency. Bottom right on your screen. Master product is younger brother Silas out of Queens. The rookie with the Edmonton Elks this season.
And with that play by Hubert, it's a 2nd and 10. Rourke steps up, puts it high, looking for Butler, and a little further you can see McInnes, but another dangerous play. And fortunate for the incompletion. The Lions now facing a 3rd down and long, and they'll have to kick it away.
Reggie Stubblefield and James Butler were having a little chat their whole way off the field, as you'll see. Stubblefield arriving ready to deliver the hit there had Butler made the grab.
So Carl Myers back again. As mentioned, leads the CFL in net punting average, but his last punt was returned for a touchdown by Isaiah Wooden. He's on the move to the left this time, loses the handle on it. Lions have it too inside the Hamilton 40. So Wooden goes from the heroics of the touchdown, and then on that one, lost the handle, and it's Josh Haggerty inserted into that BC lineup who comes up with the fumble recovery.
We'll take a look here at the bobble. See, that one got into the shoulder pads of Isaiah Wooden. Hard surface leads to the bounce. The Lions, led by Haggerty, all over that one.
And Wooden is still down. looked initially like down strictly in frustration for the fumble, but he is injured. He's getting attention now from the medical staff. The Ticats, an explosive addition to this Hamilton team. Talked about his second year out of Southern Utah.
And you saw them examining the arm and shoulder area of Isaiah Wooden as he kind of launched himself into the pile trying to fight for that football.
Working on that right shoulder in a lot of pain, as you can tell, and still down. More staff coming on. And casting a pall in this crowd, the stadium, with all the excitement coming in, including his return during the game. It's BC football. You see Mitchell and Milanovic at the sideline, but right now the focus is on Isaiah Wooden and the attention that he is receiving. With 19 seconds to go until first quarter time.
And you were mentioning, Rod, the Hamilton Tiger Cats had just had the 4 offensive plays, 2 2-and-outs offensively, yet a lead in this game because of Isaiah Wooden. So there's no questioning his impact on the Hamilton Tiger Cats and what a loss this would be for them.
It's like an upper body injury. You saw the attention that he's getting in the right arm, shoulder area. Cart has come out. The player that is mentioned really burst on the scene briefly with the BC Lions last year, ended up just playing at the end of the season for Hamilton last year. This is his first full season, and making a statement right off in week 1 in Calgary with a kickoff return touchdown. Electrifying returner, and gets some applause now as he gets to his feet and will be taken off on a cart. Isaiah Wooden favoring that right arm, coming in for the punt return, and it came out on the turf, and the Lions did recover. And
so I suspect, based on the Hamilton Tiger Cats lineup tonight, Tim Whittle seems the most likely to replace Wooden in the return game. So certainly a little more on the plate of a very busy Hamilton Tiger Cat receiver.
I mentioned in recent history the great returners the Cats have had. Of course, Brandon Banks, before he became a full-time receiver back in 2018, and really a generational talent in that department. And Tyreek McAllister a couple of years ago before he went off to the NFL, and Lawrence Woods for a while as well. Woods injured now, and Isaiah Wooden injured and taken off in a cart, as the Ticats will have to adjust in that very significant department. Even with the difference in offensive plays, Hamilton leads because, as you talked about, 40, that big return by Wooden. BC ball, though, after the fumble, and the Haggerty recovery inside the Hamilton 40. Last play, first quarter. And Rourke has time over the middle and in behind Stanley Berryhill. Jonathan Moxey was right there with them. It falls incomplete. It'll be a 2nd and 10 coming up. But BC already in range of, at the very least, a Sean White field goal. But they do have 2nd down coming up and looking for their first lead of the game. And we talked about it before. Stay tuned for a very special guest coming up here on a memorable day and evening here at Hamilton Stadium.
Jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance. Do your dance at the Space Jam. All right.
outstanding mid-range jump shooters in the history of the game.
Leading scorer in the association, top 5 in steals.
He just continues his brilliance. That is why he's the MVP.
Hamilton, tonight we are proud to welcome home one of our own. He began his basketball journey on the Hamilton Mountain, first at St. Thomas More Secondary School, then at Sir Allan McNabb. He spent his countless hours honing his skills on the local courts across the city. He's walked the same streets, faced the same challenges, carried with him the same unshakable spirit that defines this community. He's taken that Hamilton heart to the world stage and become a global icon, an NBA All-Star, a champion, and our MVP, a national treasure, and without question, the best basketball player on the planet. Tiger Town, get on your feet, wave those rally towels, let's break the thunder and make some noise for the pride of Hamilton, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander!
Shai, there are 24,500 people here. All the work you put into, you're holding it tonight. But to get a key to the city and to know that there's going to be a street named after you in this city that you came from, what did today mean to you?
Yeah, it's special. I love this city. Everything it's meant for me. It made me, to be honest, and to know that it appreciates me as much as I appreciate it is special.
You are at the top of the mountain in the NBA and in professional sports. What does your play and who you are say to the world about the city you come from? What are you showing the world about Hamilton?
You can do anything you want to do, and especially when you're from Hamilton, you get a little extra chip on your shoulder. When you're from Hamilton, you get superpowers.
Thank you for this. Congratulations.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Hamilton. I love you guys.
Through one quarter back in Hamilton, it's the Ticats hanging on to a 1-point lead, but yeah, the numbers, maybe they are lying right now because BC has been dominating on offense.
Yeah, and this has to be an uncomfortable feeling for the BC Lions because when you think about the first meeting between these two teams 2 weeks ago, the Lions won the turnover battle, which is usually statistically your best predictor of the outcome of a football game. And here again, they are statistically, everything says they should be up, and yet they're down after 15 minutes in this ball game.
Well, off the turnover and the fumble punt return by Wood, and BC's in great shape. It's the 2nd and 10. Nathan Rourke in the Ticat zone. Trying to buy himself more time. He runs out of it. Finally taken down. His helmet comes off as well. Hauser was there. And so too was Mario Kendricks. They got a lot of heat on him as he's slowly getting up and looking for his hat after all that Hamilton pressure.
And we've seen Nathan Rourke forced out of rhythm a number of times in the early going here. It's Hamilton basically with just a 3-man rush on the play, delivering that kind of heat. Now, obviously, you've got everybody dropping off in coverage. It's going to be a little harder to find open receivers. But regardless of that, 5 blockers against just 3 rushers should give your quarterback a little bit more time.
Here's Sean White now outside the 50, trying one of those for the first time this season. It's heading right. And his consecutive made streak is over. First miss of the season, White, on that 52-yard attempt. And Tim White, the returner now. He brought it out, and he is tackled inside inside the 5, so no points on the board for BC. Hamilton still leads, but a team that's at back-to-back 2-and-outs will start deep in their own zone. And because of those 2-and-outs, we finally get a chance to show you more of that Hamilton offense.
And this group you mentioned a little earlier, Colter Woodmansey, doing a terrific job in his first year full-time at center for the Cats. He moves in there from guard. And his former Guelph Griffins teammate, Keandre Smith, hottest receiver in the Canadian Football League. The last couple of weeks, 276 yards on 21 catches in his last 2 outings, including 14 catches against BC 2 weeks ago.
Back-to-back 138s for Keandre Smith. Play action fake. And Bo from his end zone throws off to the right, and it falls incomplete around the 23-yard line. Second down coming up. So how about that? And a flag coming out now. Referee Andre Proulx to sort this out.
Illegal contact on receiver. BC number 1. 10-yard penalty. First down.
The veteran Gary Peters is pleading his case after.
And we'll take a look here. Peters matched up on Kenny Lawler on the play. We'll see if he just rode him a little bit too long on that one.
And that was the opposite side of the field from where Mitchell ended up throwing. So first down, it comes by penalty and throwing there. And it's Peters on Lawler again. Tight coverage just across the 20 as Lawler has his first catch.
And we'll take a quick look at the BC Lions defense. Dwayne Hendricks with the Cats last season, making the move after being released by Hamilton, coming to BC Lions. Josh Woods makes his first start of the season at the weak side linebacker spot. Ben Plottick awaiting the birth of a child. And we see Gary Peters, see him matching up a little bit tonight against Kenny Lawler.
And congratulations to Ben Haddock, 40, and his wife Kaylin. She gave birth to their second child. So child has been born. JJ Haddock. Not saying it happened in the span of time since she's waiting. The Haddock family have JJ now as well, the second child. So he stayed back in Vancouver, as you talked about, with Woods getting the start. Weak side linebacker. Third down and a couple of yards away still for Mitchell as the punting unit heads on for Hamilton.
Well, a pretty good stop for the BC Lions. Maybe giving themselves an opportunity to get some points on the board despite the missed field goal. Pinning the Cats deep with that stop. We'll see what Seven McGee can do in the return game to contribute to that.
That's another aspect of the game that BC's trying to get going. The returns at the 40. McGee and Brian Cole, after a 49-yard punt, takes him out of bounds. Little extracurriculars for a moment. Flag coming out. And a beautiful night in Hamilton. Thursday night football. More twists, more turns, more challenges. Don't miss an all-new The Amazing Race Canada. That is Tuesdays on CTV. Stream the next day on Crave. Well, Seven McGee just had a punt return, and he took a penalty for unnecessary roughness on it here, 40.
And we'll see. Didn't like the way he was taken down hard. Headbutt there to Hamilton linebacker Brian Cole. Draws the flag.
Pushes him back to their own 30 for Nathan Rourke to start. They're down by 1. Second quarter, handing off James Butler. He finds some room and backpedaling, trying to keep his feet. So there's another good pickup on the ground on first down of about 8.5 yards, we'll call it, second and short.
Yeah, and James Butler starting off deep in the backfield here. Watch him bend this one back. Starts to the right, sees a gap, all the way back outside the tackle. Ticats fortunate to get a piece of him there. Devin Varasek, the rookie middle linebacker, making the play. Varasek, the number 2 overall pick in this year's CFL draft out of the University of Windsor.
Illegal procedure. BC number 61 never checked in.
They had a 6th O-lineman on that running play, Anu Una, and he gets the penalty for not checking in. So that was a late one coming out for procedure against the Lions.
Yes, the Lions having their issues getting this drive going. 2 penalties since the change of possession.
So what looked like a 2nd and short is now a 1st and 15 for BC. Going backwards now. Work standing at his 20. Off to the right, completes it to Butler across the 30 and out at the 35. So in that first down play, they do get 10 of those 15 yards back. It's a 2nd and 5 coming up.
And this is it. You'll see Butler just shoots out to run kind of a deep flat here, but the luxury of the 1st and 15 gives the Hamilton Tiger Cats is that they can sit back a little bit. Allow Butler to make that play, but still be in just a 2nd and medium situation.
And it's Terrell Broxton, their all-star left tackle, who's now in need of some attention. They take a break in behind the line of scrimmage. Said that they had issues with injuries. A lot of teams have, of course, an offensive line, but they brought in the big free agent from Toronto, Dejon Allen, who was injured 3 weeks into the season, and now their other tackle, their left tackle, Terrell Broxton, getting tended to. Back in a moment here in Hamilton. Hey, no one's topping Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but these 3 all played for the Tiger Cats. They had some basketball skills as well.
Yeah, definitely back in their high school days. You know, people will, of course, connect the name Nurse to the world of basketball. Richard, I'm going to give Richard a hard time and say he's the worst athlete in his family. Played professional football, but here we get a look at one of the guys on that list, Lee Knight, honored as an alumni of distinction here tonight. I don't know if I have ever seen Lee Knight without a big grin on his face, by the way.
Yeah. One of the good CFL career in the 80s and 90s with the Ticats. Peter Katopoulos, too. Remember the Penn State and later with Hamilton, coming home, playing for the Ticats, too, a linebacker. That's Jonathan Moxey there on Keon Hatcher. On that 2nd down play, it's incomplete. We got a 3rd down, and BC's punting unit to come on.
And we'll take another look here as Keon Hatcher goes down to get this one. Just didn't squeeze that one on his way to the turf.
So with the injury to Isaiah Wooden, who was a touchdown in this game earlier on a punt return, Tim White takes over those duties. Is joining us. Wooden left the field on a cart after a 2nd punt return try that turned into a fumble. So Carl Meyer is back in his 20. And White is the lone one back. Does have some return experience on this Ticats team. Chased inside the 25. And he finds some room to the left. Tim White cuts it back up. And a good return for White, his first of this game, and he gets it across the Hamilton 45. And we'll see what the offense can do now with that better field position.
And Tim White finding a little more room to roam on this one than he did on the missed field goal earlier. Gets that coverage team pursuing him to the sidelines and sticks a foot in the ground to take it vertical.
In his 5th year out of Arizona State, Tim White, all with Hamilton at the 47th, 1st down. And Mitchell steps up, takes off, and he slides after he gets it across the 50. Another good gain by Bo on the ground. Doesn't run a lot. 9 rushes for 57 yards coming into this game.
Doing a nice job there as a quarterback in the Canadian Football League. Got to be able to use your legs a little bit. You don't necessarily have to be the fastest or most elusive guy on the field, but obviously an opportunity like that to get positive yards rather than risking a sack.
Marked him back a bit at the 50, the way the slide went. So throwing now, Brendan O'Leary. Orange stays up midfield and turns it into a 3rd and shorter. Still a yard or 2 shy. O'Leary Orange. First to get robbed by Robert Carter 2 weeks ago, and then he had a big touchdown that got them close in their comeback victory.
Yeah, good balance by O'Leary Orange here, as you'll see him fight off that initial hit from Carter.
Started his career with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and still 2 yards shy. So Constantino is in to kick it away as another drive stalls for Mitchell and the Ticats. Stanley Berryhill rushing off. Extra man on the field with a slide. Safe at second is Berryhill. He gets to the sideline. Just barely, or they would have been flagged for that. Seven McGee back at the 10. 45-yard punt. And a flag does come out as McGee gets it up to the 20. Too many men on the field.
Well, Stanley Berryhill's doing everything in his power to make sure it's not.
He's safe. Back in Hamilton, you're looking at last year's top receiver in yardage, Justin McInnis, with a lot of support for his head coach, Matthew.
You know, Rob, this week when we were talking to Buck Pierce, he talked about that habit of winning, especially looking back 2 weeks ago to the 10-point lead that they blew against the Ticats inside the last 4 minutes. And maybe he wasn't expecting to see the kind of buy-in that he got from Justin McInnis, who came to Hamilton yesterday wearing a retro Buck Pierce jersey from about 10, 11, 12 years ago. Now, there is a story behind this. McInnis has been wanting to wear that jersey for a while. Got a couple of BC Lions superfans to lend him the jersey, and he said, I'm buying in. That's our coach, and I'm rolling with him. But the one thing I did ask Buck Pierce when he saw that jersey, and he said it with the man who knows what retro jersey means, he said, when I see that, I feel old. Rob?
Older, Matthew, older. It's all relative. It was 20 years ago. He broke in the league as a quarterback when their QB room had Dave Dickinson and Casey Prentice. They'd just gone to the Grey Cup and lost to the Argos. And that's how he's introduced later. Jarius Jackson, a teammate. I mean, good QB room for Buck Pierce to learn about.
Yeah, well, I mean, historically, Wally Buono teams had some pretty good quarterback rooms, and the BC teams of that era, obviously no exception. Those teams yielded a lot of pretty good coaches, too, when you think about it.
Yes, sir. And here's Rourke. Quarterback for the Lions, and the first catch for Aiden Eberhardt. Another one who's had more of a breakout season, and a big first catch of this night for a first down to buy the Lions some space.
Yeah, I think the choice for Aiden Eberhardt on this one was catch the ball or have a hole drilled through your pads. Does a good job catching the hard toss in his hands, making a couple people miss to move those sticks. Great effort.
That pickup gets it out to the 32 now. 21-yard gain. BC Lions have certainly had the ball a lot more than Hamilton has in this one. Still trail. 7-6, second quarter. Low-scoring game. Rourke facing more heat. He gets away. He wanted to chuck it deep by the looks of things, but his feet slipped. And he had no chance to plant and get rid of that football, so instead he slides down, and it's a second down and long coming up.
And you'll see Rourke once again. You've got 7 offensive linemen out there. You're in a max protect situation. Devin Veresuk not fooled by any play action there. He's the first guy to get outside. Can't quite get to Rourke. But watch as he tries to set his feet to throw. Got the skates on there. And down he goes.
Veresuk gets the sack on that one. Second sack for Hamilton in this game tonight. Veresuk is first of the season. So they run a draw to Butler on that second and long. He gets it up across the 35, and that is still well shy. Third down coming up now with just over 5 minutes to go until halftime. Robert Carter Jr. in on the tackle, and Tim White is back for another punt return. From Carl Meyer, native of South Africa. White, barely any room at the sideline after a punt of 54, and a brilliant one there by Meyer. White does what he can with it. But you mentioned Robert Carter, 40. How about this one? 2 weeks ago, Bo Levi Mitchell, and he done something like this in college, too.
Yeah, I mean, and that one's not just a great athletic play and a phenomenal catch. That's a fantastic football play for him to get in there and make this one. This time, ball's a little off the mark, but terrific elevation to go get it.
That was the one at Robert Morris University, which he says was better than the one he did 2 weeks ago because his other hand was broken.
Yeah.
He said if I tried to use it as well, I would have dropped the ball. It was just that right hand or nothing, and he came down with it. But brilliant interceptions, 2 of them that have gone viral. Here's Giovanni Robinson. There's his first taste of the action in this game. And what inspired him? Well, you may not be surprised. He was a New York Giants fan. He was 11 years old when this happened. Eli Manning, Odell Beckham Jr. Flags all around. It didn't matter. The PI didn't matter. The Giants didn't need it. Every time I see that play, too, I can see how Carter'd be inspired by that.
Yeah, and quite literally his favorite player at the time. So that meant a lot to Robert Carter Jr. to see that play, but then to sort of go viral himself and be compared to OBJ.
Who was a receiver, by the way, Carter was saying.
Yeah.
Started out in the game as a receiver.
Yeah, even played both ways a little bit as recently as his senior year in college.
So he had that one we showed you in college when Robert Morris, his university in Pittsburgh, took on Delaware State. That went viral, making top 10s everywhere. And then he went viral again. He was stunned by all the reaction he got again. He comes to Canada to play and does that 2 weeks ago. And, you know, immediately we all thought of that highlight, that amazing one that he had in college. Could he ever do something close to that again? He certainly did. Play of the year so far. Robert Carter, 22 years of age. It's a 2nd and 1. Hamilton at the 35. Jake Dolegala, who had a touchdown last week against the Lions' old team in short yardage, has the first down.
Well, now, Rod, you mentioned he was inspired by Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, geez, no.
You know, I think that a lot of young athletes, including Robert Carter Jr., may have had some other inspiration.
You guys. Yeah.
The immaculate reception.
It was, you know, I think, do I get style points with the shirt not tucked
Well, you
in?
definitely get style points for the fashion at the tail end of that one, yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks to our producer, John Hines, for that, reliving that memory. That was Paul Lapalisse, who's back in a previous, before he went back to the Bombers, and Lapo was wanting to demonstrate, you know, one-handed catches. We had Schultze there, we had Milt there, and
I'm actually surprised that Lapo didn't try to sign you after that.
Thank you. I tried to have that little highlight burned. Unlike Robert Carter Jr.'s 7-6 late.
Okay, coming up at the halftime, we're going to try to get rid of Stripes here, who has been all over us on camera these days. And Milt's going to tell you how he thinks this low-scoring game is actually a positive for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And Stripes, you're not allowed to talk.
I think he said something about a ring.
He would like to...
I don't know if he's proposing or he's talking.
It's official.
I think I just got
live on TV.
There it is. Your first marriage proposal on TV. So have fun with that one. Get out of here, Stripes. Get out of here.
Never to be forgotten, Kate. So, and certainly, you know, you don't want to be favoring the Ticats at a moment like this. Where's the Lions mascot? Well, it's Hamilton leading it still by a point. Kate and the panel coming up. Great to see them on site here for this one again. 2:29 in the clock.
Kenny Lawler working out of the slot into that boundary side here as they look to get 89 involved. Again, very quiet first half offensively for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
He's almost a victim of his own success. Only 4 catches in the last couple of games. And that one deflected at the line of scrimmage, and Lawler with 2 tonight. That intended for Tim White, but you have the #1 pass offense against #1 pass defense. Strength against strength. And right now, it looks like the defense is doing a whole lot better in a 7-6 game.
And the Lions just need their offense to start taking advantage. of their defense holding tough.
Yeah, Lawler, last week, 4 catches for 28. Last 2 games, 5 catches for 57. That's it. He's still right up there for 700 yards on the season. There's Keandre Smith, who really has taken the ball literally and run with it. He's made a lot of catches with all the attention on Lawler. He really had 14 catches 2 weeks ago in that victory, including the winning touchdown over BC.
Yeah, Keandre Smith has been a busy man. You know, a guy who maybe flew under the radar a little bit. His tremendous 2022 draft class of receivers.
Well, that's how it worked a couple of weeks ago in that winning drive. You want to worry about Kenny Lawler. Understandably, we got Keandre Smith, we got Tim White, and you talked about the yardage. 138 yards receiving for Keandre Smith 2 weeks ago, and again last week. 276, 3 touchdowns in those 2 games. 1st and 10. And it's off to Keandre Smith inside the 35 with Williams taking him down for a short gain for Hamilton.
Well, Keandre Smith has put himself in pretty good company with his recent performance. There you see his 14 catches in that July 27th game against BC, the 3rd most in Hamilton Tiger Cat history, behind greats Arlen Bruce III and Andy Fantuz.
Great names from the past to wear the black and gold of the Tiger Cats. Yeah, Keandre Smith, last couple of weeks especially. Games to remember here. Lots of time for Bo, 2nd and 8. They drop back in coverage. Beaulieu is on Shamar Bridges, and that falls incomplete. Saw this happen a couple of times too, where Mike Benavides had only sent about 3, and then you could see Bo looking downfield and couldn't find anybody.
Yeah, that was it. 3-man rush and make it difficult for him to find anybody to throw the ball to. As noted earlier, Bo, a guy who can run and take what he's given, but not necessarily a guy who's going to kill you with his legs. So when he needs that 8 or 9 yards to get the 1st down, you'll take your chances.
So there's Mark Leggio, 18 for 18 this year. He's made 33 straight. That's a Ticats franchise record. 4th longest in history. There's a streak in Leggio. He missed it on a night where Sean White and Leggio missed. 7 McGee brings it out. That's across the 20 to about the 25, where Hubert rides him out, and a flag does come down on that return. It's Leggio, the kicker, who is the one who was down right now.
And keep an eye on Mark Leggio, the kicker back here, and right behind him, Gary Peters of the BC Lions.
During the return, holding BC number 20, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
And it wasn't like Peters took a big shot at him, took advantage of the fact that his head was turned. He was just getting in his way, trying to set a wall. But clearly, Leggio very much caught off guard.
And that wasn't a penalty. It was, as Leggio still getting some attention, it was a holding call against BC that's negated that return by 7 McGee out of the end zone and put it back to their 10. And Leggio seems fine now, up at his 1st miss since last September. As mentioned, it had been the 4th longest streak in the history of the Canadian Football League, behind Rene Paredes and Sean White last year and Lewis Ward in 18 and 19 with the Ottawa Redblacks.
And Leggio's been kind of a neat story for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a guy who was originally drafted by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, spent a little bit of time there, but they decided to go in a different direction at the kicking spot, let him go. Came to Hamilton in a little bit of what was kind of a pinch situation for the Tiger Cats. Seth Small had been their kicker, had to depart because of a family situation. Leggio has come in and made himself indispensable.
He really has. So here's James Butler on the carry. Late in the 1st half, 1:14 on the clock, and the Lions still trailing by a point as he gets about 5 there to the 15. A 2nd and 5 is coming up.
Leggio has gone into the tent for further examination. And, ironically, I guess Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was asked earlier today if he played football in high school or anything. He said no, he didn't like getting hit. And somebody asked him, well, what position would you play? He said, I told you I don't like getting hit. I'd have been a kicker. Well, I don't know how that would have worked out if you asked Mark Leggio.
Well, if Leggio can't come back, I mean, are you saying there's a chance here?
Well, we know Shai can hit a three-pointer.
If you could sign someone mid-game, and I'm sure OKC would be happy with that decision, wouldn't they?
I've always pictured Shai and his OKC teammate Lou Dort as a dynamic pair of corners. I think those two guys would be terrific in press coverage.
Here's Rourke. The time ticking down, under a minute to go on the first down play up across the 35. Lions come into this game at 3-5. These two teams are hitting the halfway point tonight. Hamilton's trying to do it at 7-2. BC's trying to get it to 4-5 before they're at halfway. Here's James Butler. So they're trying to work their way up and still not out of the notion of a late field goal in this first half if they can get it close enough for Shaun White. First down here at the 38.
And again, kind of a strange first half when you compare the stats sheet to the scoreboard.
70 points last week. There's an open receiver caught by Eberhardt. And Jamal Peters chases him down and pushes him out of bounds. And at the very least, a field goal situation coming up. 18 seconds, but they still have time to run another couple of plays.
This is an absolute strike by Nathan Rourke to hit Aiden Eberhardt in stride. Manages to fight through the jam, dip his shoulder and fight through the jam of Jamal Peters. And as soon as Rourke sees him with half a step on the corner, he puts it up just right on the mark.
Nathan Rourke to Aiden Eberhardt, 57 yards. Longest play on offense in this game, and it is set up with BC getting a chance now to take the lead for halftime. That's the safety, Stavros Katsantonis, still down on the field. So what will the score be at the half? We can tell you who's here to talk about it. Kate and Enoch and Milton and Ches. Always great to have the panel on site. And after that proposal by Stripes, I think
Kate and Stripes make a lovely couple.
Well,
I really
you know
do.
what? And how will it affect her bias coming up here talking about this game?
Well, it's hard to say. You can't see it because of the desk. Kate is actually wearing tiger striped shoes tonight, and I think that may have contributed to the attraction from Stripes.
Okay, we're looking for the video evidence and being obscured there by Enoch, so no, she says no. But
she's not as anxious to become Mr. Stripes as we are to see it.
Hey, 0-1-3, let's fucking go!
You look at the difference in yardage, 40, and yet Hamilton's still hanging on to a lead. Maybe not for much longer, but there were. I remember what Milt was calling for 70 points 2 weeks ago, and lo and behold, he got his 70 at 37-33. He's calling for 67 points scored in this one. So these two teams have got some work to do on offense.
What did he call himself before the game? The great Miltradamus?
Miltradamus. So Miltradamus, it's not over yet. Not even halftime, and there could be more points on the board coming up now. 13 in total. 7-6, but here comes Rourke. To the right, caught inside the 10. Javon Katoy pushing. Touchdown BC. Just did not give up with Ticat defenders all over him. Big Javon Katoy powers his way into the end zone and puts BC into the lead.
Well, Javon Katoy. This guy to me is the unicorn in the Canadian Football League. Such a big, strong guy, but runs like a slot. But just powering through a crowd of Tiger Cat defenders to make his way into the end zone.
Javon Katoy, 6th year out of the Langley Juniors, with his 3rd touchdown of the season to cap off a 6-play, 100-yard drive, and set up really big time with a 57-yard strike to Eberhardt that got them down closer. And so it had been a lead for a long time by a Ticat team that hasn't done much on offense with the point after, though. 11 seconds on the clock. It is now a 6-point lead for BC at 13-7.
And we'll get a look here. Lions do a nice job getting it blocked up. Quick hitter. Javon Catoy does the rest. Little BYOB. Be your own blocker. Fighting his way to the end zone.
Party in the end zone. Bring your own ball. He made sure he got there on time. With a little bit to spare, Nathan Rourke with a touchdown pass against Hamilton, something he did not have in that loss a couple of weeks ago, even though they put up 33 points. A little selly. And the Lions do have the lead. With the moon looking down.
All night. All night.
And the colors of the moon a little more towards the Lions right now. Towards the Ticats.
Javon Catoy, one of the gems in this league to come from the Canadian Junior Football League. I'm telling you, there's some stones left unturned, in my opinion, in terms of scouting the CJFL.
Definitely some talent that's gotten into the Canadian Football League, like Javon Catoy. Tim White in the return across the 35, but 4 seconds to go. And it is looking like the Ticats will be down heading to the dressing room. They do remember a couple of weeks ago in BC Place when they were down 10 with just a couple of minutes to go and managed to rally for a victory there, and were down trailing Edmonton late last week, and Bo Levi Mitchell led them back. Well, Scott Milanovich had said to us, Dwayne, that he doesn't want this team getting complacent and believing that they can always come back when they're down. It's good to have that faith. It's good to know they can do it, but would like a little bit more before they get to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as it stands, they just take a knee, and it's halftime here at Hamilton Stadium on a day that they have honored basketball legend Hamiltonian Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Just one touchdown per team for Hamilton. It was Isaiah Wooden on a punt return, and this one, Nathan Rourke to Javon Catoy.
Yeah, Catoy just sits it down. Nice protection. Finds his way into the end zone and has now found his way to our Matthew Shinetti.
Javon, how much do you think that last drive not only helps the offense, but particularly Nathan, given the kind of pressure the Ticats defensive line was putting him under in that first half?
Yeah, man, it gives us a lot of confidence. You know, all week, Coach has been telling us we got to finish drives. We got to finish with 7, not 3. So I just have to make sure I'm doing my job. If I catch the ball, just making something happen.
In terms of finish, how critical is this next half for this team's growth, given what happened 2 weeks ago?
Exactly. Like I just mentioned, we got to finish, right? So we got to make sure it's not just on offense, it's on defense, it's on special teams. We got to make sure we got to pick it up. Too many mistakes, too many flags. We just got to make sure we're doing our 112.
Appreciate this. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to World Vision, man. If anyone's watching right now, every touchdown I score, every touchdown the BC Lions score, we donate money to World Vision. Right now, the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the BC Lions are partners of World Vision, so please check it out, please.
Wonderful, thank you.
What would you like to say to the fans?
And Kate, that big drive, now the Lions are up 6.
All right, Matthew, back alongside Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Milt Stiegel, and if you're on social whatsoever, you've seen the work that the CFL and World Vision does together, and it is truly remarkable, so make sure you check some of that out, and obviously the support. And you know what, tonight's one of those nights where we did think that this was going to be absolutely explosive offense, and it has been the complete opposite. Yep. Sometimes we're wrong, sometimes, but just a tiny bit. Needless to say, Bo Levi Mitchell, though, I mean, he is only 6'9". He's got 56 yards right now, so we're going to give full credit right now to the BC Lions defense, particularly that secondary. And Ches, no better person to talk about it than you.
Yeah, because we coming into this game, all eyes eyes were on that secondary. There are some changes in that group, and we expected Hamilton to exploit that. We didn't know that secondary is all about communication. You know what else all about, though, is energy. And if you look at this BC Lions team, and they're coming off a bye, they're coming off a loss that leaves a bad taste in their mouth. And to me, I really thought that they came out with more energy. Now we're looking at sacks from Hamilton right now, and we talked about the pressure and how important it was to protect Nathan. And Hamilton did get after Nathan. But I think the key to what I saw in this first half was the energy that the BC Lions came out with, and the fact that, look, they weren't happy. You heard about it all week. Listen to their interviews. They weren't happy. They came out with more energy. I think that's been the difference. A couple things real fast. 4 first downs only for Hamilton, 3 for 8 on second down. That's dominating defense against an explosive offense in Hamilton.
We're expecting a shootout tonight, but exactly those film, the tape that we just saw, Nathan Rourke running all over the field is exactly what Hamilton needs to do if they want to be successful tonight. They started off very successful. I mean, Nathan was running all up and down the field. He was never comfortable in the pocket, but except for at the end of that second half where Jason Butler actually helped him quite a bit. But at the end of the half, that's when we finally saw them connect, and he hit Eberhard right here with a 57-yarder, and Javon Catoy, finally, we heard what he said, the team wants to finish their drives, and he was able to do that with the big body that he has and the physicality that he brings to the game. But at the end of the day, when we watched this game, we thought it was going to be a blow. It was going to be some touchdowns left, right, and center. That's not the case. And we've been looking at games last week. Hey, who's going to make the first mistake? Well, tonight it's going to be who's going to make the biggest plays tonight. So we saw a big special teams play, and Javon Catoy, who's going to make the next one, is going to be helpful for them.
Milt, I said this at the 3-minute warning, but you believe that this low-scoring affair is actually in Hamilton's favor right now.
Yes. And I know they're down, and I know that last drive they look tired. But actually, if I'm the Hamilton Tiger Cats, I'm a little happy going into halftime being a low-scoring game. You think about it, they're coming off a short week. They had 5 days off, where the BC Lions had 2 weeks off. So they had a lot more time to prepare. And also, this is a slow game. It hadn't been a track meet, so they get an opportunity to rest. And also mentally, now you say, hold on, we only had 5 days and they had 2 weeks, and we're only down 6 points. So they can come out the second half, put up some big plays, which we know they can with Bo Levi Mitchell and that offense. And that defense has been playing pretty well. Yes, they gave up that last drive. They gave up for that touchdown for the most part. This team has been playing some great football, being a low-scoring game. So let's see if they got something left in the tank. It's not easy. 5 days off compared to 2 weeks is not easy. So I'm interested to see if these Hamilton Tiger Cats got something left in the tank.
Mill, I'm interested to see, because the second half especially, you're talking about the slow game that's happening. I think it's going to be advantage the team that's able to run the ball a bit better. And right now with the BC Lions, with James Butler, who's having a lot of success right now on the run as well as in the air as well.
No rebuttal. Okay. On the ground, the running game, it's going to be.
Don't look at me. He's talking to you.
He's talking to both of us.
I don't understand.
I will add one thing. I think that it's an advantage BC. I think if you're on the road, and you're winning at halftime, I think you got to feel pretty good.
All right. Well, now we're looking at Cody Fajardo, who's going to roll into Montreal and face his former team. We will break down some Friday night football, unless anyone else wants to talk. No? Okay. In Edmonton, taking on McLeod Bethel Thompson in Montreal. Funny how things sometimes work out, isn't it? Just because when they got traded, they weren't the starting quarterbacks for both these teams, and then we go into this game, we get to see both of them. And Cody did say this week, I'd be lying to you if some games didn't mean a little bit more. And by the way, kudos to Cody, because that's one of the more honest things that I think he is telling the truth. And you know what? I think we can all admit the last loss, it was not on Cody Fajardo, and he has played well too. He played well against Saskatchewan. He played well in the last game too against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And he wants nothing more than to roll into to Montreal and show them they shouldn't have traded him.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm with you. I appreciate the honesty in Cody. And, I mean, look, 2 weeks ago, he put up 345 yards of passing, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. They haven't found ways to win as a team. So, what you say earlier, Milt, the wins and losses are on the quarterback often, but we know that he's played pretty good football. Sometimes, guys, you've been a part of teams that just haven't found ways to win, and that's what seems to be happening with this Edmonton team right now. They put up some numbers. There's been a little bit of a boost with Cody at quarterback here right now. They got to find ways to close the games out and win. And yeah, I look forward to seeing this because I want to see that passion, that fire in Cody in this returner, in this matchup against Montreal.
He's definitely going to have passion. He's definitely going to bring it, like you said, Kate. He wants to win this game and prove to everybody that it was a mistake letting him go. But the other side, you're talking about McLeod Bethel Thompson, 126 yards. If we're going to be honest, like Cody, he's got to perform a lot better if they're going to want to come out with a win, because Cody is going to bring some heat tomorrow, and they're going to have a great offense, offensively speaking. 126 yards last week for the Alouettes on offense is not going to cut it with an interception. They're going to have to find ways to generate some offense if they want to stay in that game. Cody will come to play.
But both of these players were told by their teams from last year, we don't want you anymore. Cody by Montreal, and of course Macbeth by Edmonton. So both of these guys are going to try to play better than they've played against their former teams. But even even more so for Cody, because he won a Grey Cup for that team a couple of years ago, and they told him they didn't want him. So you know he's trying to get back at his team. So I'm looking for stumbling like a mother right now. I'm looking to see what both of these guys are going to do right now, and I think it's going to be a great game.
You got to stay true to colors, right?
What color is that?
Who knows?
You know, and for the Montreal Alouettes, too, I mean, they had some additions, too. So they've been severely banged up. But a guy like Deontay Evans is coming back, too. So you got to think that they're going to shore up this one side. And then but there are offensive injuries as well, too. I mean, they are dealing with a lot right now. At least it's not the end of the season, but I think it has hampered them.
Yeah, think about the defensively, too, as well. Like, you talk about Cody and what he wants to do. He's going up against a really good defense. And in particular, with Northrop and what they bring, that's going to be a difficult task with the pressure they bring.
The key for Edmonton is Rankin. When he gets going, that offense is flowing out. I know their defense isn't concerned, but I'm not concerned with that offense because the way Rankin is playing right now.
I agree. You know what? This is going to be a fascinating Friday night football game. But first, we got to wrap up a Thursday night football game with the BC Lions currently leading 13-7. And you know what? It's just a night of honoring people. Miles Gorell into the wall of honor for the Tiger Cats. An awesome scene. We will get you back to football right after this.
Halftime in Hamilton. Now, the Lions do have the 6-point lead, but it's more lopsided when you look at the numbers and the difference in production by the offenses right now. Bo Levi Mitchell and the Cats still trying to get it going. Maybe a little more pressure on the Hamilton defense with middle linebacker Devin Veresek standing by with Matthew.
Devin, I imagine not the ideal way that you want to go back into the locker room, but what was the kind of discussions you were having before coming in?
I mean, we've been in this position a couple times before, down at half. We've always been in close games. We just got to find ways to come up on top in the second half and win.
What kind of lessons do you, though, take from 2 weeks ago? I know Scott Milanovich doesn't want you to keep relying on late-game heroics, but this team, it seems, late on, can make a play.
Last week, they really leaned on the run, so that was kind of an emphasis this week. They had 150 on us the first time, so we just came out here, want to stop the run. That's what we intend to keep doing.
Appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
Great rookie, and Hamilton's getting the ball. They'd normally be leaning on Isaiah Wooden, their star returner, has a touchdown in this game, but you can see he's not coming back. Looks like his right arm is in a sling. He was injured back in the first quarter of that game.
Yeah, and after his punt return touchdown, he had fumbled one and fighting for the ball, suffered that upper body injury.
That's when he got hurt. Tim White in the return, taking his place in the return game. Second half begins. White runs into his own man, McBanatine, and he is down just across the 30. So here's Bo Levi Mitchell. Well, 6 for 9, but for only 56 yards. Leading passer in the Canadian Football League, having a different kind of night, Dwayne.
Yeah, tough to get things going for the Cats. Started with a couple of 2-and-outs in this ball game. The BC Lions doing a good job taking things away from them defensively.
The good news for Bo and company, they're just down 6. In fact, led much of that first half despite being outplayed. Some pressure coming here at first down. He gets rid of it. Open receiver, too. That's what they were looking for. Tim White lots after the catch, too. White runs all the way down inside the 25 of BC before he is tripped up by Robert Carter Jr.
Watch the running back, Greg Bell in the backfield, doing a nice job helping out with the blitz pickup here. Late coming. Patrice Rene tracks him, steps up, meets him in the hole, allowing Bo Mitchell time to make that delivery to Tim White.
And on one play, have almost matched their entire yardage of offense in the first half. That was 54. They had 56 in the first. Throwing again. Oh, man! Touchdown! Just like that. 2 plays later, Giovanni Robinson comes up with it. And that was quick. And now they're a point after from retaking the lead.
Well, Giovanni Robinson, the big tight end, into the ball game, taking advantage of that size. This is where Bo Levi Mitchell was going all the way. On this one, the Hamilton Tiger Cats apparently sending the message that they're not going to wait until the fourth quarter tonight.
And the punter, Nick Constantino, is now the kicker with Bo Levi Mitchell. Appears to be the holder. And that's after Mark Leggio got injured in the first half. Another look at the Robinson touchdown after just 2 plays on that drive. Here's Constantino. It is put down. And the Aussie, as they say on the team, has their punter, the left footer, gets that one through. And it gives them the lead again after the product of Barrie University. By the way, great basketball player in his day. Big touchdown, first of the season for Robinson. Hamilton leads.
No coach in the Canadian Football League loves the true tight end more than Scott Milanovic. Giovanni Robinson is his guy. Line him up on this one. They're just going to release him straight down the field. Linebacker Micah Awe a little late to react. Ball's in the air, and Robinson holds it in for the touchdown.
His first of the season. His second year at a Barrie, Giovanni Robinson. All smiles on the bench. 1-point lead for the Ticats, who haven't had much offensively, but just in 2 quick plays worked their way down the field. And Seven McGee slips and gets up again on the slick surface here at Hamilton Stadium, and he finds the edge, and he ends up with a pretty good return. Seven McGee gets it up around the 35, makes something out of that after it looked like he was down slipping.
Levi Mitchell with the touchdown pass. You see his numbers for that drive exceeding by 20 his passing numbers for the entire first half of this ballgame.
Well, that catch and run by Tim White, the first of the 2-play drive, went for 54, and then the touchdown pass to Robinson. So Scott Milanovic, Matthew talking about it, they don't want to wait until the final couple of minutes for some heroics here. They do with their lead back here in the third quarter, and now it's up to Nathan Rourke, who puts it high on Keon Hatcher, and that one falls incomplete, second down.
Yeah, you can see from the reaction right away, Nathan Rourke would like to have that one back, just put it in a very awkward spot for Keon Hatcher to try and make a play on it.
Rourke with 206 yards passing and a touchdown late in that first half to give BC the lead at that point. 13-19 now. Hatcher 2 catches for 20 and missed there. Over the middle, it is caught, and that one is up right around the first down marker. It looks like it will indeed be a first. It is for Hatcher and the Lions on his third catch of the night.
And again, you'll see Hatcher just recognizing coverage here, finding a soft spot. Sits it down. Moves the sticks.
Hatcher coming in to this night, week 10, third in receiving yards, behind Kenny Lawler, and the leader with the Argos, Demonte Coates. They play Saturday against Ottawa. Some pressure with time. Deep, Eberhard catches it down at the 20, his second, and another big one for Aiden Eberhard, who had the catch that helped set up their late first half touchdown, and the Lions strike back quickly deep in the Ticat zone.
Yeah, Eberhard with a couple of big plays. You'll see the safety, Mac Bannatyne, the rookie from the University of Alberta in the game. Remember, Stavros Katsantonis shaken up in the first half.
And they're on the move again. They run tempo, and they complete that one. That's Justin McInnes, another first down. First and goal coming up on that catch by McInnes to get it inside the 5.
Yeah, McInnes lining up out wide on this one. Nice job by Eberhard coming inside into the formation to help out in the protection, letting Rourke get out on the edge a little bit to make that play.
James Butler into the end zone, and a touchdown again against his old team. That's his third in 2 games against the Ticats. Called this home for the previous 2 seasons, and that one, talk about working quickly. You get a 2-play drive by Mitchell and the Cats. Right back comes Rourke and the Lions with a touchdown for James Butler.
Yeah, great response from the BC Lions. Not letting the Cats maintain momentum in any way, shape, or form. James Butler finishes it off, goes in standing up on this one.
That's 5 plays, 75 yards, and 221. Butler. Yeah, we know already how good that feels to get a touchdown against your old club. We saw it when he was with Hamilton taking on BC, and then the other way around a couple of weeks ago, and then tonight. Where had all that offense gone? Last 2 possessions, 1 each. They quickly get into the end zone. We got a 20-14 BC lead. Third quarter in Hamilton. Well, James Butler said, yeah, it was business, but you could tell it was personal, too, 2 weeks ago in Vancouver against his old team, Dwayne.
Yeah, I mean, their plan is for him to get lots of touches regardless of who they're playing, but Butler seemed to relish them a little more against his old team, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, with whom he had spent the previous 2 seasons.
The only thing that didn't feel good in the end was the Hamilton comeback to spoil it in the first half. He was really running hard. Got a score early and then another touchdown. So, yeah, remember this in 2023 when it was the other way around, Dwayne, taking on the Lions.
Yes, James Butler, an equal opportunity grudge holder.
Well, that's against Edmonton, but you see some of the work that he did. 1,600 yards and over 1,000 in 2023.
Yeah, feature back in 2023. And as we mentioned last year, the Cats just decided they wanted a slightly different skill set, feeling that Greg Bell had a little more burst to his game than Butler.
So here's Mitchell. They had a 2-play touchdown drive last time, and here is Bell. A very quiet night. Yeah, he was the one that made Butler expendable. And mentioned part of the highlights that we saw before in his time with Hamilton was a big game back home against the BC Lions.
Yeah.
Gladiator, 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 gladiator.
Oh, both teams changing up the personnel packages here for short yardage situation, 2nd and 2.
After that gain by Greg Bell. 3 carries for 9 yards. And they go back to him here, and a good tackle by the leading tackler by far in the CFL. Micah Awe came into this game with 61 tackles. Second place was 48. And it's still not a first down. It's still a couple of yards shy.
Well, Micah Awe has always been something of a heat-seeking missile wherever his CFL travels have taken him.
You see those tackle totals. We're almost halfway through the season. That's a sizable gap.
Well, it certainly is. Awe, who's done a couple previous stints with the BC Lions, and he keeps finding his way back home. Spent the last couple of years playing middle linebacker for the Calgary Stampeders.
So they would mark it here, and actually a signal by Andre Pruitt was enough, despite the solid defensive play there by Awe. They only needed a couple of yards, so signaling it is actually a first down with a player down on the field still. That's Christian Covington, their defensive tackle. We'll take a break as Covington gets some attention. Buck Pierce's Lions leading by 6. FedEx St. Jude Championship will continue tomorrow. Second round action on TSN. Akshay Bhatia, the American, shot a 62 today. He's at 8 under par, one-shot lead. So coverage will get underway 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 a.m. Pacific on TSN Plus for the FedEx. Back here in Hamilton. Well, we got the panel here. Caden Company, Rod Smith, Wayne Ford, Matthew Shinetti here as well to watch the second meeting between the Lions and the Ticats. 2 weeks ago, Hamilton rallied, came back from 10 down in the final couple of minutes to win it. Right now, it's a 20-14 BC lead. Hamilton football getting close to midfield. Push from Matthew Betts, but Mitchell gets it away. Oh, Kenny Lawler! Not again! Not again! As only Kenny Lawler can do, it seems. Twisting around, bringing it down. He's had a quiet couple of weeks, but a very loud play there, Dwayne.
Absolutely. Bo Levi Mitchell just puts it up down the sidelines, and you see the faith he has in Kenny Lawler. Now you see the Cats are going to go hurry up because I'm not sure how cleanly he caught that, but it doesn't matter now.
No, it stands. You wonder, too, when you saw that replay, was that actually a catch? Did it touch the ground? But they got the playoff.
Well, and regardless of whether he held on, just tremendous body control here by Kenny Lawler, falling backwards.
It's amazing. And they quickly weren't taking any chances. They got up, they got the playoff. And they are deep now in the Lions zone, 2nd and 7. Mitchell again coming across. That's Keandre Smith with it. He gets it down to the Lions 10, and that's another Hamilton first down.
Well, both offenses marching a little bit now.
Seeing the way Lawler twisted around. Have another look at this one.
Keandre Smith kind of the trailing receiver on this one. Lets the guys in front clear before he cuts underneath.
Buffalo Stone, Zulu Ruffle. Skinny Buffalo Stone, Zulu Ruffle.
First and 10 at the BC 11. Faking the handoff. Off to Tim White inside the 10, the 5, and down to about the 3. One more look at Lawler. I'm thinking 1989 Grey Cup and a guy who used to play for the Hamilton Tiger Cats by the name of Tony Champion.
Yeah,
reminiscent.
Not a bad comparison with the backwards fall. Full extension on his way down. And we're going with the fact that he pulled it in because it's in the books now.
It counts as a catch because they went off, and you'd have to look at that a few more times, but it was not reviewed, and away they go.
And quite honestly, if they did review it, I don't think there's conclusive evidence to say that he didn't catch it either.
Yeah, it looked like he continued to have control of the football even as it went down from the BC 3. 2nd and 2. Mitchell rolling right. Looks to the end zone. Soft toss to nobody. Nobody home. And a 3rd and 2 coming up with the Lions 3.
Yeah, throwaway there. Remember, kicker Mark Leggio is out. We've seen Nick Constantino come on to kick an extra point, but from the 2-yard line, the Cats are going to go for it.
You consider their long snapper Simon Chavez, who is experienced. He was recently let go by Ottawa, but the injury to Gordon White. So new long snapper. They had Bo Levi Mitchell as a holder on that last field goal for Constantino, who's the punter, but he does have some kicking experience, the left footer. Did put through the point after through, I should say. But with Leggio out, especially, they're going for it. 3rd and 2 at the BC 3. Mitchell. Touchdown! Shamar Bridges. this season in that Hamilton receiving core. But their top rookie from 2024 has a touchdown there. A point after away from taking the lead again.
Yeah, first touchdown of the season for Shamar Bridges, as you mentioned, still kind of waiting for his big day in this Hamilton Tiger Cats offense. Just a quick slant there. There slides it in between a couple of defenders. And suddenly, Miltradamus is looking like he might have known what he was talking about.
Well, they're racking up the points now at 40 with the 41st one pending in this game. And there is Mark Leggio. Missed the last point after try after getting hurt late in the first half. And we have a challenge now by the BC Lions.
BC is challenging the previous play for offensive pass interference by Hamilton number 4. The play will be reviewed.
So presumably we'll be looking to see if there's a pick on this play that helps Shamar Bridges get open.
They look at that. Was it OPI and the Bridges touchdown? Have another look at what happened in this play.
And now the suggestion is that they were looking at number 4, Brendan O'Leary Orange. Bridges is coming down from inside. So was there a little too much rub to that rub?
On Ronald Kent Jr. immediately put his hands up while he was sitting down, wondering where the call was. So Buck Pierce throws out the challenge flag. Have another look.
See here if this ball might have been tipped coming out.
Just grazed, didn't really interfere with the flight of the ball though, right to Bridges. What they're looking at now is was it a pick there on O'Leary Orange on Ronald Kent Jr. At a critical point past the halfway mark of this third quarter. Tie game with this touchdown pending the convert. Unless they turn it around.
So we saw in Ottawa in week 2 a couple of defensive pass interference flags picked up after the ball was deflected. And the realization of that, we see this ball deflected as it's coming out.
Interesting call, interesting moment in this game. Does it stand as a Bridges touchdown for Hamilton? They've reviewed. Here's referee Andre Proulx.
Upon review by the replay center, the pass was tipped prior to the infraction. BC will get their challenge back since they were not aware that the ball was tipped. We've got a touchdown.
So with the tip at the line, there's a technicality here.
Negates the interference, yeah.
But they give Buck Pierce's challenge back, not being aware that it had been tipped at the line of scrimmage. So it is a touchdown for Shamar Bridges with the point after to come up here now. Bridges with only 117 yards receiving and no touchdowns coming into this game. Leggio back and seems to be just fine with Constantino back as the holder. So a point after that gives Hamilton the lead again. Their offense coming to life here in the second half. Touchdown Bridges. Hamilton with the lead. It's one one of the key units for that Tiger Cats offense, the offensive line that really does stick together, Matthew.
And it's long been that way here in Hamilton. When you think back to Marwan Hayes and the fraternity he built with that offensive line about a decade ago, and Mike Filer and what he did right after. And certainly now, if you travel up the escarpment to Ancaster and you get an invitation, you might go to the house that has Brendan Revenberg and Jamal Murray and a bunch of other, Jordan Murray, excuse me, and a bunch of other offensive and defensive linemen who are all living together in a house there up on the escarpment. Now, I was doing some investigative reporting before the game to find out if there were any stories fit for air that I could tell about, and no, there isn't, although I have heard that there is a pool, there is a smoker, and there is a guitar, and if you get an invitation, you might enjoy yourself at the offensive line house there in Ancaster. Rod?
And I assume, Matthew, you get an invitation, you don't come empty-handed. My question was, how many fridges would they have for 8 of them in a house?
Well, this is it. 8 of them in the house, 7 of the 10 Ticats offensive linemen, plus D lineman Luke Brubaker, living together in that house.
You can only imagine when the dinner bell rings. Here's Robert Carter on the return for BC. So we've had 3 touchdowns scored in this second half, 2 by the Ticats on each possession, and the Lions answered right back. So the offense that had been pretty quiet, especially for Hamilton in the first half, is really starting to open up. Got some points on the board. There's Carter, of course, as we mentioned the first half, the headlines he made going viral in his last game against the Ticats with that one-handed interception.
Yeah, and Carter, as you heard the panel mention a little earlier, part of a big shuffle, really, in the BC secondary since the last time these two teams met. Lions, of course, coming off a bye. Carter moving from field corner to boundary halfback this week.
Nathan Rourke facing heat right away from Miles Fox. Gets rid of it. Downfield looking for McInnes to Sean Amos. The veteran DB was right there with him to knock that one down. Incomplete. Second down.
Yeah, Amos doing a pretty good job staying with his receiver McInnes on this one, but once again, Nathan Rourke with a great escape in the backfield, throwing across his body, can't quite lead McInnes the way he wants to towards the right side of your screen. Here you'll see the receiver lead man furthest to the left on your screen.
As Fox is coming right into Rourke untouched, 3 to the right. More pressure right away. He gets away and dumps it off for James Butler, and they blow it down as an incomplete pass. But the second straight play that we see at Tiger, that time it was Owen Hubert that was right in on Nathan Rourke.
Yeah, Rourke has been on the run here. Once again, you'll see Hubert. And, you know, by the way that was blocked up, it kind of looked like it was set up as a draw play.
Hey, let's go, lock it down.
With the offensive lineman sort of opening the gate to let the defensive end upfield.
Tim White, the returner since the injury to Isaiah Wooden, chased back inside the 25. After a 56-yard punt by Carl Meyer, the tackle there by Josh Haggerty. Well, Matthew, that story about primarily the offensive linemen, not too many better than this man. Remember Miles Garrell, played with a few teams in his great CFL career, but had some tremendous years, including a Grey Cup victory back in the 80s with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, honored in their Wall of Honor at halftime.
Yeah, an absolute CFL lifer. Miles Garrell, terrific offensive tackle throughout his career. In Hamilton, spent some time in Winnipeg as well, where he and Chris Walby were a couple of pretty good bookends on that offensive line. Honored here, spent a lot of years as a scout for various teams in the league as well.
Richly deserved to see the Ticats honor big Miles Garrell. So it's a 21-20 Ticat lead. 4-10 and counting. And there you see it. They just unveiled that at halftime. Big 66. An eventful day honoring Garrell and, of course, honoring Shea Gilgeous-Alexander earlier today, giving him the key to the city, and he stuck around, and at the first quarter was given another tribute. Many thousands coming out, by the way, long before the game. The CSGA. Both throws down the right, no. catch attempt there by Shamar Bridges a few moments after he got his first touchdown of the season.
Yeah, Bridges makes a nice adjustment to the ball in the air, puts himself in position, sort of slowing up, letting the defender run by, going up in the air, turning his body. It looked like Ronald Kent Jr. made just enough contact. You'll see as Kent is falling there, I think, to impact the stability, basically, of the body of Shamar Bridges, prevent him from making that grab.
He's one of their top receivers last year. He missed the final 4 games with injury. At the time, he had 933 yards receiving, their top rookie. So missed out a shot at 1,000. Here's Seven McGee. BC bobbles the ball. It's loose. It's live. It's Hamilton's. Ronan Horrell inserted into the lineup. The rookie for Hamilton won't forget that moment. Product of UBC getting his chance in his CFL debut, and Horrell comes in, and after that catch is bobbled by Seven McGee. It's Ticat football.
Yeah, huge play for Horrell, getting an opportunity here on special teams. Absolutely loving the moment. As you mentioned, first career game for Horrell, the 48th overall selection in this 2025 CFL draft.
One of several UBC Thunderbirds in the CFL. Receivers to the left. It's thrown, and it is caught by Keaton Brugley. Came out of Carleton University, drafted by the Ottawa Red Blacks. First year in Hamilton. He's from St. Catharines, and he's managed. That's his 4th catch of this season, getting used a little bit more by Bo Levi Mitchell and the Ticats.
Yeah, well, Brooklyn has kind of found a role in this offense in the absence of Ante Milanovic. He's kind of playing a lot of fullback snaps, basically, as a guy who was signed as a receiver. I talked earlier about that 2022 draft class. He was drafted as a receiver between Tyson Philpott and Keandre Smith.
Second and 4th and 9. Touchdown, Keandre Smith. Speaking of him, does it again. He hit the winning touchdown against BC in the big comeback 2 weeks ago. He had another one last week. That's his 4th touchdown in 3 games and his 5th of the season.
The hot streak continues for Keandre Smith, and this, to me, is kind of classic Keandre, doing a little bit of the dirty work, going across the middle linebackers coming for him. And this kid is absolutely fearless.
And another Ticat second half possession ends up with a touchdown. 54 yards net offense in that first half. Another touchdown for Smith, and they've retaken the lead by 8.
Now, take a look back. You can see that the Ticats empty out the backfield. They've got 3 receivers to each side, and the key here is the middle linebacker, Micah Agwe. He's going to cheat a little bit to that boundary side. Now, Keandre Smith is the inside receiver to the field side. We watch that middle linebacker move towards the boundary. It opens up space for Keandre Smith to take the middle on that slant for the touchdown.
What was a quiet first half. We've seen Bo Levi Mitchell and the Ticats offense make a lot of noise in the third quarter. 188 yards passing in that third quarter. 3 touchdown passes, no picks. Suddenly Mitchell is 15 for 20, and here come the Ticats. Unstoppable so far in this second half.
Well, they've been a 4th quarter team, maybe trying to be a bit of a 3rd quarter team this week as well.
Suddenly on the game. There's Seven McGee looking to atone with a good return here. He's got one. He's got one. Seven McGee still going deep Hamilton Tiger Cats. His first touch since the fumble that set Hamilton up for another TD, and that certainly helps make amends.
Helps make amends for that and maybe takes away a little of the sting of the Isaiah Wooden punt return touchdown for Hamilton in the first half of this ball game. McGee does a nice job picking his way down the sidelines here, well into Tiger Cat territory.
In his first year in the CFL, 7 McGee with his longest return in his young career. And it is taking it down to the 18. The Ticats. Here come the Lions all of a sudden. Faking to Butler. Rourke to the end zone for McInnes. And Destin Talbot was right there with them, and they were fighting for it, and it ends up falling down incomplete.
And you'll see in this situation, Rourke kind of recognizing that the DB's back is turned. McInnes has that height advantage. Talbot does a good job reading the eyes of McInnes to know that that ball is en route. Pretty good battle there on the part of both guys to ensure that that ball falls incomplete.
And sets up a second down and 10 now for Nathan Rourke. But Hamilton 18, only 3 rushing. And Rourke takes off. Nathan Rourke spins inside the 5, down to the 3. Outstanding run for Nathan Rourke. We got a first and goal BC, trying to close that gap again.
Well, Nathan Rourke has been fantastic with his legs all night, whether it's keeping a play alive long enough to try and find an open receiver, just on his own, running for first downs like this.
Ray Wilburn to haul him down, but another carry by Nathan Rourke, and the Lions in business again very quickly after the tremendous run by 7 McGee on that kick return. Rourke rushing 2 carries for 28 yards, 15-yarder. Late here in the third quarter, which has seen an offensive explosion after slow starts, really for both in terms of scoring in that first half. BC did have the lead.
You see Reggie Stubblefield slow to get up. Now, bear in mind, safety Stavros Katsantonis already out of this game. Stubblefield, the nickel linebacker. So injuries at a couple key spots at perhaps a critical moment of this ball game.
And mentioning Rourke's running, came in with 210. He is 28 rushing in the Knights at 238. He is the leading rusher among quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League coming into this game. And a big one there. Stubblefield remains on the field. He came back 4 weeks ago after 400 days off. He had been with the Alouettes, had an outstanding rookie year, winning the Grey Cup in this very field in 2023. And then an opening night against Winnipeg last year, he got a serious knee injury that kept him out the rest of that season and delayed his debut for the Ticats until a month ago.
And Stubblefield has certainly been productive, kind of picking up right where he left off with the Montreal Alouettes. Good to see him heading off under his own power, hopefully it's not too serious. It looks like it's going to be a short yardage defense, but in terms of the shuffle of positions, the Cats in their regular defense looked like they had the 2 rookies, Mac Bannatyne and Ronan Horrell, 2025 draftees, both in that secondary.
Now it's ex-Ticat quarterback Jeremiah Masoli in. First and goal at the 3. Masoli keeps it 3-2-1 touchdown. Talk about reaching the end zone against your old team. It's been a while. It was 2021, the last year Masoli played here in Hamilton. But that must feel good for him as he picks up another rushing touchdown and gets BC close again.
And Masoli does well to keep his feet on this one, just patiently pick and choosing, finding his way into the end zone.
the ground, and they get it in. Another 2 on the board. It is the fullback, Riley Pickett, who gets the critical 2 points now. 6 seconds to go in the third. It's a 28-28 tie.
Yeah, I love this for Riley Pickett, a guy who was drafted as a defensive lineman out of the University of Saskatchewan. D-end in college, terrific junior player as well. The Hilltops, he's lined up right beside the quarterback in that backfield. You're going to see they create some flow to the right. Pickett pounds his way in for the touchdown, but making that position switch, as well as doing some long snapping to find a spot on this roster. Big moment for Riley Pickett.
Well, not his first touch this season. A couple of catches. That was his first carry, though, and he won't forget that. Gets into the end zone for 2 points that have tied this game up. What a game it's turning out to be when, especially with Hamilton's offense not doing much in that first half. We've seen an explosion from these teams. All even.
Well, the way the third quarter has gone, it's one of those last touch wins kind of games at the moment.
And that's how it looked a couple of weeks ago, week 8 at BC Place, when the Lions pulled ahead late and it was Hamilton coming back. What kind of fourth do we have in store? Third quarter coming to an end. Zeros on the clock. Tim White on the return. We got a ball game as Mitchell gets ready to come on again for the final 15. Hamilton took the ball to start the second half. Took only 2 plays to get it in the end zone. And Mitchell would throw 3 touchdown passes. But the Lions come right back with a 2-point conversion. 28-28 the score. Three-quarter stats. Remember the amazing Nostradamus called for 67? And we laughed. We laughed at the halfway in fourth.
Nobody laughs at Nostradamus.
No. Well, 56 now. 28-28. That third quarter, for all the offense lacking in the first 2 quarters, they certainly made up for it.
Yeah, let the shootout begin. I can't wait for the fourth, the way that third quarter went. The Hamilton Tiger Cats came out and set the tone, but the BC Lions answered every challenge.
They really did, including right at the end of the quarter, Jeremiah Masoli capping off that drive, and some good running from Nathan Rourke as well. And in the end zone, 2-point conversion. I mean, you're right. It looks like another one of those games. Last one touches the ball. Who knows? In the case of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, it just didn't leave the Lions with very much time at all. Just seconds left 2 weeks ago when they ended up winning it by 4. So here's Bo Levi Mitchell now. They have the ball at the 38. Hamilton. Greg Bell. Not many carries on this night, but he has a good one there on first down across the 45. We got a second and short coming up here for the Ticats.
Yeah, the run game hasn't been a big part of the call sheet for the Hamilton Tiger Cats thus far tonight. Particularly here in the second half, the Ticats have gone for a pretty aggressive approach in the passing game.
Well, for Bell, that's 7 carries for 28 yards, the longest of 9. That was the one you just saw. 2nd and 1 coming up here. Back to Bell. Right up the middle. Gets the first down and a little bit to spare as he moves it up to around the 52. So already they're near midfield. Not only has Hamilton been scoring in the second half, they've been getting it done quickly, starting with that 2-play drive to get into the end zone.
And amazing catch by Kenny Lawler, setting up one of those third quarter touchdowns, adding to his growing highlight reel.
Ticats have had a terrific fourth quarter all season long. Trying to do it again. Well, this will help. There's Bell again. He had a nice opening left side to run for another first down inside the BC 50.
And after putting the ball in the air in the third quarter, perhaps the Ticats have this Lions defense a little off balance, hurting them on a string of plays here, handing the rock to Greg Bell.
Not running much, but running on this drive after some big passing plays in the third quarter. 28-28 the score. Early fourth. Ticats trying to win their 7th in a row. Faking the handoff. Finds Tim White open. White gets a pop from Carter, and he keeps going. That second effort gets him another first down inside the BC 35.
And I love the awareness from Tim White as he makes this catch, recognizing where potential tacklers are coming from as he gets his head around. Quick spin out of the way. Nice job protecting the ball as Robert Carter Jr. tried to pull it out of there.
Great work by Tim White after the catch. See Mike Benavides, a defensive coordinator for the BC Lions. Sees Hamilton down to the Lions 34 now on a 1st and 10. Already in scoring range. Mitchell back to Bell. More room, cuts it back. Coming in, Christophe Beaulieu, the safety, to make the tackle as he gets it just inside the BC 30. Well, talking about how good the Ticats have been in the fourth quarter, this is quite an impressive point differential, and we've certainly seen that manifested over their last couple of comeback victories, Wayne.
Yeah, for sure. Over the last couple of weeks, BC Lions, one of their victims 2 weeks ago. Edmonton last week, as a late score, put the Ticats over the top. I suspect Bo and the Cats are kind of thinking, well, we got them right where we want them.
Yeah.
BC Lions and Nathan Rourke may have something to say about that.
Here we go on a 2nd and 5 to the 29, and that one, no. Good coverage there on Tim White. It's Deontay Williams who's right on him. So they're at the 30 in field goal range. It's a 3rd and 5 coming up now. In position to take the lead again, and the field goal unit will now be coming on.
And as mentioned, Mark Leggio was on for the last extra point after sitting out one. Nick Constantino filling in. So he will be part of this field goal attempt with his regular holder, as mentioned, Simon Chavez. In his first game, long snapping for the Cats.
In for the injured Gordon White. Earlier, Leggio's 33 successful attempt streak came to an end, and that one heading off to his left. He misses that, and back through the dead ball line for a point on the board. So Leggio hadn't missed one since last September. He's missed 2 on this night. Hamilton's back in front by 1. Fourth quarter in Hamilton, the Ticats do have the lead, not the way that they wanted to, though, with just a single after Mark Leggio missed another field goal, and he has been money. Coming into the night, he and Sean White were the only ones who are still perfect on the season. They have both had misses this evening, 29-28, and the throw by Nathan Rourke. Going to work here, getting up to the 50 on the catch there by Justin McInnes, and close to first down yardage for BC. It is indeed enough to move the sticks.
Relatively quiet first half to the season for Justin McInnes, the CFL's leading receiver a year ago. Starting to put together a pretty good night here.
62 on the night. He came in with 385 on 30 catches. Last year, leading the CFL with 1,469. Rourke again. Oh, in and out of the hands that time of Keon Hatcher. You don't see that very often, if ever, but it's dropped, and it will be a 2nd and 10 coming up.
And we'll take a closer look here, but just appeared that this one let this one get into his body, sort of through the hands. Bounces off the body to the ground.
So 2nd and 10 from their 50. Lions trailing by a point. Under 10 minutes to go here at Hamilton Stadium. Nathan Rourke has time. Checks it down, goes to Butler at midfield. Still running. Butler has enough for a first down inside the Ticats 50.
And pretty good job here in protection for the Lions. They've had struggles at times, but there you see. Nice pocket, plenty of room. for Nathan Rourke. Clear throwing lane.
Another first down coming up here for BC. And that's Justin McInnes. And another catch for McInnes. And quickly, the Lions, 9 minutes to go. Have something going here. Working tempo.
Yeah, quick hitter. McInnes.
Faking to Butler, throwing it off Hatcher's way, but that one falls incomplete. Second down coming up.
Yeah, we've seen a couple times a miss high and a miss low from Nathan Rourke trying to get the ball to Keon Hatcher out in the flat.
Forth they go. Lions have a shot at retaking the lead. Empty backfield. Gets rid of it. Deep end zone and too far for Hatcher there with Jamal Peters right there with them. Step for step. So we have Sean White time now and a third down coming up. The ball scrimmage at the Ticat 31.
And you're going to see Reggie Stubblefield back in the game. Blitz is coming. He's the unblocked man from the backside. So you see Nathan Rourke is aware. He recognizes it's coming. Then that's an unblocked player. That's why he's sliding to his left to buy himself a little bit of time. Waiting for a receiver to get open. Unable to connect there with Hatcher.
Sean White is 2 for 3. He missed from outside 50. This one inside the 40, around the 39 to be put down by Carl Meyer for the BC lead. And White looking to start a new streak as he is good there. 3 on the board. 31 in the night for the BC Lions. Buck Pierce's team with a 2-point lead. Get ready for the WNBA Canada game in Vancouver. This is the first ever regular season matchup outside the U.S. Catch the Storm, take on the Dream, Friday, August 15th at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here on TSN. WNBA in Canada, back here in Hamilton. It's a 2-point difference, BC leading after the field goal by Sean White. So the Ticats start at their 40. Approaching the halfway point of the fourth quarter. These two went right down to the wire 2 weeks ago. How about this time? The throw, it's incomplete, intended there for White. He went down. Carter and Williams were the closest to him. Incomplete, second down.
Yeah, throw was a little bit behind Tim White. He's trying to adjust to reach back for that one, but as we've seen a few times tonight, Seven McGee, Nathan Rourke having a little bit of trouble with the footing here at Hamilton Stadium.
Mitchell is 16 of 23 for 225 yards, 3 touchdown passes this second half, all in the third quarter. Mitchell again steps up and trying to get right back to White, which he does, right around the 50, and coming back to the ball. This will be a third and short by the looks of things, and an interesting decision coming up here for Scott Milanovich.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, sort of that fundamental play for a receiver coming back to the football. White fights his way in front of Gary Peters to make that catch.
Well, I said interesting decision, but actually they can't help but go for this. It just looks like inches. They just need to get to the 50. So a third down coming up. And Jake Dolegala, who's handling the short yardage at quarterback, is in again for Mitchell. Dolegala, who started his CFL career with Saskatchewan. He was with the BC Lions last year, coming over as a free agent to the Ticats. At 6'7", Jake Dolegala falls forward.
And Dolegala doing the roll off and held by running back Ante Litre, who is out of the lineup. Dolegala, just down the road, Buffalo area guy. Just to work out a little bit with former Ticats receiver Luke Tasker and current Ticats receiver coach right in front of him, Naaman Roosevelt. Also from the greater Buffalo area.
Had a chance to be a starter with Saskatchewan after Cody Fajardo got hurt a few years ago. Oh, contact made coming in on Shamar Bridges. That was Ronald Kent coming in just as the ball was arriving on that play.
That's the matchup out wide. Bridges and Ronald Kent, who moved from field halfback to field corner. In the defensive shuffle, Deontay Williams, by the way, moving from the nickel linebacker spot back to halfback.
So well timed by Kent. It's a 2nd down and 10 now. Approaching midfield for Hamilton, trailing by 2. 5:40 on the clock and counting. Here in the 4th quarter. 3 receivers to the right. Mitchell coming across and taking it is Keandre Smith. 1st down and more. Down to the 42 of BC is Keandre Smith. Targeted 5 times. He has 5 catches, and that one moves the sticks.
And there's the catch. Watch that right arm. Fights off Patrice Rene. Pick up that 1st down.
Had a touchdown earlier in this half. He had 2 a couple of weeks ago in Vancouver. He had 1 last week in Edmonton. 5 in the year, but 4 in his last 3 games. He has been red hot. 5 catches, 46 yards, and a TD in this one. 1st and 10 inside the 45. Back in the ground to Greg Bell. Works it down inside the 40. Call that a 3-yard pickup. 2nd and 7 ahead.
Scott Milanovic doing a nice job mixing it up in terms of the play calls. We saw a very run-heavy drive last time. Back to putting the ball in the air, spreading it around a little bit here.
At the BC 40, 4:39 on the clock. Pump fake and short to Bell, off to the right, down to about the 36. And we have another 3rd down coming up, but this one is about 3 yards away, and the field goal unit will come on with Leggio to see if they can go ahead by a point again. An injured Lion now getting attention down on the field.
Yeah, it looks like Kamoko Toure, defensive end, was on his feet, went down just at the end of the play.
So the field goal unit, you see Mark Leggio finally coming on. And this one will be put down by Constantino just outside the 43. Leggio had 33 straight coming into this game. He has missed his last 2 tries. This one could give Hamilton the 1-point lead again. Mark Leggio just inside the right hash. And off the upright and through. They'll take it. Was heading left, his left again. But that time, just able to tuck it in with it hitting the upright and doinking its way through.
Yeah, a little frustration for Mark Leggio, having a little bit of a weird night. Say, after having not missed a field goal since last fall. 2 misses and 1 off the upright here tonight.
Well, he took a hit from Gary Peters after missing his first one. Was out for a while, but he gets that field goal. Week 10 continues on TSN tomorrow. Interesting. Edmonton Elks, of course, desperately needing a win, but Cody Fajardo getting the start against his old team. Won a Grey Cup at this very field in Hamilton 2 years ago. So there's that Friday Night Football. Red Blacks Argos, the 2 teams tied at the bottom of the East, and the Bombers and Stampeders for a 3rd time this season. Calgary won the other 2, and they won decisively. So Winnipeg looking for some payback at McMahon. the rest of Week 10. But we're not done with this one yet. That is caught midfield and further down for the BC Lions, who are behind by a point again after the Leggio field goal. Nathan Rourke has them on the move.
Lions doing a pretty nice job here with their quick passing game.
They quickly got up over the ball to run tempo, but then taking their time. Here's Rourke. Deep shot. Coverage is there. Deshaun Amos again on Stanley Berryhill. Right with him. Got that left arm in front to knock it away.
And here you get a great look at the matchup. Veteran Deshaun Amos. Great footwork with the quick turn. Watch him get the left hand in over top to break that one up.
The ball is at the Hamilton 51. The Lions trail by a point, and it's getting late here at Hamilton Stadium. Heading down to the 3-minute warning. Last play before it for Nathan Rourke and BC in a second down and 10. Trying to work their way closer. Rourke has time. Over the middle. Intercepted! Julian Hauser. Big man's got another pick as Rourke can't take him down, and Hauser finally goes out of bounds inside the BC 40. A defensive end who's done this before drops back into coverage, and he was ready and waiting for that throw from Nathan Rourke. A turnover going the Ticats' way. Set up nicely, nursing that 1-point lead.
And big play for Julian Hauser as the Ticats go with three-man front defensively. The fourth defensive lineman, Julian Hauser, lines up in behind essentially as a linebacker, and he takes that drop. Nathan Rourke looks left. Hauser comes from his right to sneak in underneath that one. Gets a great jump on it. Looking at the quarterback's eyes. Third career interception.
The ball will be placed at the 38-yard line. First down.
Yeah, Wayne, you said a third career pick. His first go-around with Hamilton in 2022, before he went to the Stampeders, he had 2-1 season. And defenses using, taking advantage of the athleticism for a guy that's listed as a defensive end that dropped back into coverage. And not his first time. His first this year, and you said his third of his CFL career. Hauser. So they set up at the 40. And run by Greg Bell gets it down to about the 35. Sorry, starting at the 38, so 3-yard pickup. And the turnover ratio, Hamilton coming in the best at +10, and BC one of the worst at -9. Should be pointed out, though, the Lions won the turnover battle, +2 against Hamilton, and scored points over all 3 turnovers by the Ticats, and still ended up losing that game a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, bit of an anomaly in the world of the Canadian Football League, but yeah, big correlation between the Cats' turnover ratio and their record this season.
2nd and 7. BC 35. Bo Levi Mitchell. Well, he had a little pump fake, and the closest to that is BC's Gary Peters as it sails out of bounds, and 3rd down coming up. But looking for points off the turnover, they have an opportunity here with another field goal try coming up for Mark Leggio.
Yeah, a night that's been a little bit of an adventure for Leggio.
Hey. He called Dan as trying to give you the
Scott Milanovich perhaps not liking what he had called on the previous play.
So Leggio coming off a made field goal, 1 for 3. This one from 42.5 out to increase the lead. 3 more for Leggio. He's making amends with a couple of field goals after a couple of misses. Stripes is okay with that. 10 points off turnovers. A 4-point lead now for the Tiger Cats at 35-31.
I mentioned Scott Milanovich maybe not liking his call on the last one. You see him telling Bo, my fault. as the offense came off the field.
It was a 4-point difference between these two teams. A week ago Sunday at BC Place in Week 8 ended up being a 37-33 victory for Mitchell and the Ticats with 2 late touchdowns in the final 3 minutes. It's a 4-point game right now with BC trailing. And still 1:53 on the clock. This time Milanovic's Ticats have the lead late. This time Buck Pierce's Lions are looking to turn the tables, get the ball back, and look for the comeback win.
Nathan Rourke will have to have a short memory and shake off that last interception as he prepares to take the field.
So Legio to kick off. 2 returners back for the Lions in Robert Carter and Seven McGee. McGee coming in and takes it at the 23. And a big return last time out that certainly helped BC. As a flag comes out, it's at up around the 40, a 17-yard return for Seven McGee. At stake to make the turn. BC trying to
return. Holding. BC number 43. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So the Lions hurt themselves there with the hold. Just mentioning they're trying to hit the halfway point of the season at 4-5 for Buck Pierce and for the Ticats, who lost their first 2 games of the regular season in Calgary and here against Saskatchewan, have rolled off 6 straight victories, looking to make it 7 in a row for just the 4th time in the history of the franchise. 147 away, 4-point lead. Here comes BC now. The 25 Rourke quickly off the fingertips of McInnes, and lucky for them, Jamal Peters wasn't a little bit closer. He could have had another interception.
And pretty good coverage again on the play that appeared from Destin Talbert.
Up here at Hamilton Stadium, getting late for the Lions now. Big 2nd and 10 at the BC 25. Rourke, Hauser's in on him. Rourke gets away, gets rid of it. It is caught by McInnes, and a brilliant play by Rourke, and then McInnes after the catch to move it out beyond their 40 and a first down BC.
Well, you recognize the way this game has gone. The elusiveness of Nathan Rourke plays a role in BC's ability to avoid giving up sacks.
And working tempo and quickly going back that time for McInnes, it goes incomplete. And we got a 2nd down and 10 now coming up to the Lions 42. These 2 teams hitting the halfway point of the regular season tonight as we start Week 10. It's been fast. Pigskin Pete trying to fire him up. Go a long way back. The last time the Hamilton Tiger Cats have won 7 regular season games in a row. 1:27 on the clock. Another 2nd down with a flag coming out. Gets knocked at the line, and Rourke recovers his own pass, batted away, and has lost yardage there with Rourke catching it, so a loss of 2 pending the flag.
Yeah, Rourke obviously thinking he could pick up a little bit more yardage than he was able to find on that one. Otherwise, might have just batted the ball down.
Offside. BC number 83. That penalty's declined. It will be 3rd down.
Got Stanley Berryhill on the offside. And we got a 3rd down now at 12.
No! We're on the go!
1:21 on the clock.
We're on the go!
This is it for the BC Lions. 108 7. 3rd and 12 in their zone. Nathan Rourke has time. The throw, and it's caught for another first down to McInnes. Inside the 30 and out of bounds near the 25. Another clutch connection from Nathan Rourke to Justin McInnes on that 3rd down.
Well, protection gives him time, and Nathan Rourke has the poise to stand in and just calmly float this ball down the field to Justin McInnes. Devin Barasek trying to get back from his linebacker position to get underneath that one. That's just beyond his fingertips.
Well, in field goal range, but a field goal is no good in this final minute. They're down 4. 54 seconds on the clock. They need a touchdown.
And here you'll see Justin McInnes. He's going to work his way across the field. Essentially being passed off from one defender to another as he goes through zones there.
Now there's an injured Ticats player still down getting attention. That's Philip Osai, who made his debut for Hamilton after the injury to Taiwan Garbett in Vancouver 2 weeks ago. Osai, the defensive end, down right around the line of scrimmage, which is inside the 30, around the 27. Rourke and the Lions trying to do what Bo and the Ticats did to them 2 weeks ago. Final minute, and back then you could see Rourke's frustration on the sideline, wanting to get the ball back for a chance, and they just worked the clock down, scored the touchdown to Keandre Smith, and they didn't have enough time at the end.
Yeah, Ticats doing a pretty good job managing the clock in that one. It'll be interesting to sort of see BC if they try to milk it down here.
And the difference being the Ticats only needed a field goal to tie it and potentially force overtime, and they ended up getting the touchdown to win it. In this case, Rourke and BC, they need to get to the end zone. What a finish we have again between these two felines, the Lions and the Ticats. Different sort of drama this time for Scott Milanovich. He's coaching the team that's ahead, trying to protect the lead. Here we go. 1st and 10. James Butler. Left side. Keeps his feet. Gets an extra push from his offensive tackle, Jarrell Broxton, and a late flag coming out after it looked like they had enough for a first down.
Yeah, whichever way this goes, this is going to be a huge call.
What do we have? What do we have? Talk to me. Talk to me.
Listening to the live mic of Andre Proulx.
A big run that would have given BC first down yardage. So it's either going to back the Ticats up to their goal line or else take that yardage away from the Lions.
You're right, as penalties go, this would be...
There is no infraction on the play.
Well,
or it will do absolutely nothing.
Not so much for pumping up how huge it is. Well, that's huge too for BC. Down to the 16. They got a chance. 47 seconds. Lots of time. First down. Rourke has time. Looks to the end zone. It is caught. A touchdown for James Butler. Must be saying to the Ticats, how do you like me now? The go-ahead touchdown with 38 seconds to go. James Butler against his old team has another one.
And you saw Rourke look that way early. Rusher flashes by, and he's still got time to get it there. Butler with the catch. Left. And you'll see the foot gets down. And he initially catches the football. Survives contact. I think the defender was kind of arguing that one foot touched the sideline, but that came after the catch.
Shaun White on to make it a three-point game, which he does. So, not over yet. 38 seconds, and the Ticats find themselves again with much less time on the clock this time, needing a field goal to force overtime.
Well, and as we take a look back at that drive, 7 plays, 85 yards, very efficiently in 1 minute and 9 seconds. Nathan Rourke, the great escape, then completes a 3rd and 12 pass for a big gain to Justin McInnis. Butler with the run, set him up for a first down, and Butler, well, the Butler did it again.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Lions Ticats, part 2, turned out has not been a disappointment at all. What a game we have here. 3-point difference, 9th lead change in this one. And it's been a second-half explosion by both teams. By the way, Milt got a 67 and then some. Yeah, he predicted 67. They're, what, up over 70 again. More points this time around than they had put together in that dramatic finish at BC Place a couple of weeks ago. But as mentioned, still lots of time when they only need a field goal. And the return by White is a good one, too, up across the 40. So Mitchell, 32 seconds left. Could we be looking at a Leggio field goal attempt after what he's been through tonight to send this to overtime?
And lots of twists and turns in this one. The Tiger Cats have been clutch in fourth quarters in their last couple of outings. But never have they been in more of a pinch than this.
They have it up at the 44. Hamilton Tiger Cats looking for their 7th straight win. They are down by 3. Here's Mitchell to the right. Oh, my goodness. It's caught by Shamar Bridges. Kent was right there with him. And for this quiet season by Bridges so far, he's had a couple of big catches.
Yeah, Shamar Bridges with kind of a, hey, remember me moment. The East Division's most outstanding rookie a year ago.
We'll get Kenny Lawler's opinion on that one later. 1st and 10. Getting close suddenly. Greg Bell. They're in field goal range. Bell has it down to the 30. You're talking around a 37-yard try to force overtime. Still 16 seconds left.
Knowing the history of Bo Levi Mitchell, wouldn't surprise me one bit to see him take one look at the end zone.
Hands it off again as they get closer for Leggio. 7 seconds on the clock for Bell inside 22. You get 7 seconds. Enough for another play?
Enough for another play. Got to be obviously very smart about it.
Shot to the end zone.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to risk kind of the time for that to develop.
Certainly couldn't take the chance of too short a play that without the player going down right away. Buck Pierce's Lions were in a somewhat similar situation in Montreal over a month ago, although that was for the win for Shaun White as they took advantage of an Alouette penalty and got it close enough for the walk-off winner for White. In this case, we're talking about a kick to force overtime for that man.
Lions have gone to dime defense, an extra DB.
Just a 3-man rush. Mitchell, and no. Skips that one off the turf. Incomplete. And Mark Leggio is coming on to see if he can send this game, this remarkable game, the way the second half has gone, into extra time.
A little bit of everything in this one in terms of intrigue. Very slow start offensively for both teams through the first half. Turned into a track meet in the third quarter. A little more back and forth here in the final frame.
Leggio missed his first 2, made his next 2. One of them went off the upright and in for the tie. Mark Leggio excited for it, the way these two teams have been playing it. Not the greatest night for Mark Leggio, but great when he needed to be to force overtime. Back at Hamilton this time, 60 minutes have not been enough. We're heading to overtime with the coin toss and Andre Proulx.
This is the same coin. The CFL logo will be heads. Team logo will be tails. BC, your choice. Tails has been called. This is a tails. You won. You want to play defense first. Which end are you going to play? So we're going to go that way. Hamilton will have the ball at the...
So Sean White, the adopted philosophy of you want to be on defense first to see what you need when you get the ball, right?
Exactly.
They're the rules. Teams play a maximum of 2 mini games. Each team will scrimmage from the opponent's 35. And after a touchdown, a team has to go for 2. There are no single point conversions here. And the team scoring the most points in the mini games earns the 2 points in the standings. Each team will get a point if it's still tied after the 2 mini games. But that's what's at stake right now for the Lions and the Ticats.
Well, these teams have kind of gone shot for shot in the second half of this football game. It makes you wonder if overtime is going to be the same thing.
We saw a shot of Buck Pierce there moments ago. I think he remembers an overtime game in Hamilton about, what, 4 years ago? The Grey Cup, Winnipeg and the Ticats, and his team, the Bombers at the time, for Buck Pierce, ended up victorious. Looking for victory here against Scott Milanovich's Ticats, who will have the ball first. First overtime minigame from the BC 35. Faking the handoff, throwing right away. It is caught by Kenny Lawler. Lawler getting it down to about the 21 with the tackle from Josh Wood. So a first down for the Ticats.
Butler step up to pick up the blitz. Bo getting that ball out of his hands quickly.
First and 10 at the BC 22 now in this first overtime. Lawler in motion to the left. Mitchell looking that way. Deflected but caught by Tim White coming back to the ball. It comes out. It's BC's ball. It's Dwayne Hendricks after White had caught the ball on a nice play and a deflection, but while running, he coughed it up, and a golden opportunity now for BC.
Well, the deflection completely changes this play. Tim White starts off out wide. There you see, working underneath. White is open, but the deflection changing the trajectory of the ball, allowing defenders to close on him.
And yeah, you see the reaction by Mitchell, because their first possession is done, and all BC needs is to score points here. They just need a single, really, of a missed field goal. But a field goal, a touchdown, points, and they win in this first mini game. They start at the 35, as the Ticats did. Nathan Rourke. Great shot now. James Butler, left side, hanging on to that football. The key part of this now, just to keep possession of that ball down to the 27.
Yeah, this is it. The low-risk play calling for the BC Lions here. Protecting possession, and if they make the end zone, it's a bonus. If not, very comfortable leaving this game on the foot of Sean White.
One of the greatest kickers, most accurate kickers in the history of the CFL, waiting in the wings on this 2nd and 3. They just try to center it up for the veteran Sean White for a walk-off winner. Butler. Good carry for a first down. Drive continues. Peters with the tackle, so gets it down to the 20.
Sean White staying warm should his number be called.
who turns 40 in October. I mentioned this before chatting about how much longer Shaun White wants to play. Of course, the legendary Louis Pasaglia went to, age 45, and White, especially the way he is kicking, no signs of let up.
What a tremendous career, another great product of BC junior football system.
But it's first down in this overtime. Butler again, they keep it on the ground, and he keeps pushing. It's been a great night for James Butler, who has a touchdown on the ground and that one great catch late to put them ahead, just about a minute to go.
And 2 instructions for James Butler here in overtime. Secure the football, run forward.
Well, he had a great game against his old team 2 weeks ago, but was denied the victory when Hamilton came back. He'd be savoring this one if BC can get some points on this drive. Butler turns right about the middle of the field on that 2nd and 4 play. And it's a 3rd down coming up. Shaun White to win it for BC.
The Lions with James Butler all the way, just running the football, taking care of business. Again, Shaun White, not just a guy who's been accurate throughout his career, but a guy who's hit a lot of clutch kicks.
Well, he had one, as mentioned, in Montreal, a walk-off winner right at the end of the game against the Alouettes a little over a month ago. Looking for another walk-off winner now and improve the Lions' record at the turn of 4-5. White up and through, and the BC Lions turn the tables on the Ticats. They come back and get a much-needed victory here in Hamilton.
Well, Shaun White had his consecutive field goal streak broken earlier, but undaunted, steps up and hammers that one through for the win.
Feels good for Buck Pierce. Bissett has fond memories of overtime games here in Hamilton. And for Scott Milanovich, a 6-game winning streak comes to an end. They were trying to get to 7, which would have been the first time since 1972, but it's the Lions who deny them on this night.
Yeah, terrific job by the BC Lions to hang tough in this ball game. Hamilton came on like a house on fire in the second half, but the Lions hung with them blow for blow.
On a night they honored a great in Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, making Hamilton proud, and the Ticats and the Lions put on another great show. The Elks and the Alouettes tomorrow. Thank you for watching Thursday Night Football on TSN, and have a great night. So long, everybody.